in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, New York. All my people, you rocking with the chat. That like button would tell me where you at. You know, step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady, where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Dope Soul.
What?
Dope Soul.
What?
Your soul.
Where you at? Where you at?
Salute, Nick family. Welcome to the Just Necking It Weekly Show. I'm your host, Stephanie, aka Queen. Is it too soon to panic? In my opinion, it's way too soon. 5 games. Even if we were 1-4, 0-5, panic is kind of strong. However, I'm here for the people. So today we're going to talk about a lot of the comments and questions that's been in the chat. You'll have an opportunity to jump on the panel, give your opinion. Some things that I've seen was we should trade Randle. Randle ain't it. Tibbs should be fired. Josh Hart is overpaid. We should have paid Quickly and not Josh Hart. Quickly's not worth 130 million and a few other things. Oh, Brunson has been found out. We're going to talk about all of that. If there's anything else you want to talk about, put that in the chat. We'll talk about it with the panel. But like I said, if there's anybody who I'm gonna drop the link. If you want to hop onto the panel, you don't have, if you're camera shy, turn your camera on. You could just come on with video and give your opinion on the topic. So let me bring in Jerrell, Jeff, fellas, how you doing? And listen, I'm here for it. Whatever y'all bringing, I'm here for it. I got my Lay's, I got my diet. Where we at? My Diet Pepsi. I'm here for the show.
Mm-hmm. You ain't pouring nothing else in that candy.
No, I should have.
You should have. Yeah, man. We salute to the chat, man. Jeff, Steph, you already know what it is. My Thursday family. You know how we do every Thursday, man.
Listen, let's just start out. Let's ease into it. Just what are your thoughts been thus far on the first 5 seasons? Excuse me, 5 games. It's feeling like 5 seasons, but 5 games. And has the first 5 games kind of changed your opinion of this team or predictions for this team? Jerrell, then Jeff.
Okay. Yeah, salute to everybody in the chat. We're gonna get to a lot of you today. Yeah, man, I don't think the chat is really gonna like us today. Like, I think we're 3, you know, I don't want to speak for Steph and Jeff yet, but yeah, we're like 3 level-headed fans that really don't, you know. I said last week that I'm not gonna overreact. Like, for me, I take things in like 20-game intervals. So I guess maybe because it's quarterly. I always do things quarterly. I'm a football guy. So like the first 20 games is the first quarter of the season. That's when I will, you know, get all my ducks in a row and see how we are. I like to say 20 games because maybe we're in for a trade, because after that, you know, the trade deadline will be coming up towards the All-Star break when it gets to like 40 games and stuff like that. So yeah, 20 games, man. We're not 0-5. We're 2-3. I think it's not the end of the world. Obviously, Brunson and Randle aren't playing the best. My main thing is RJ's hurt, and we don't know how much he's hurt. Like, we don't know the extensive of the knee injury. Other than that, I'm actually kind of fine. Like, I don't know. A lot of people are going to say a lot of stuff about the players on our team, but like, it's been 5 games. The season's only 2 weeks old. Like, we got 82 of these things to watch, and we watch all of them. So yeah, I'm not going to overreact. I don't want us to keep losing games, obviously, but whether we was 0-5 or 5-0, I still have the same thoughts I have for this team until till they show me otherwise after 20 games.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, you're never as good as you are in your best moments, and you're never as bad as you are in your worst moments, right?
That's the truth.
And so we've had a tough schedule thus far. We have a good win against Atlanta. We haven't played near to our potential, and we're one game under 500. Is that where we want to be? No. Is it the end of the world? No. And so to me, I think if you want to look at things that are positive, we're number one in the league in both offensive and defensive rebounding percentage. And that's, with a quote unquote small team. So I don't think that rebounding, it looks like it's going to be an issue. I think the defense is ranked second so far, which is worlds better. Remember, we were down in like 19, 21, like way down last year. So if that's the baseline, it's the top 5, then and we can maintain that when we get our act together on offense. And I think we're going to get our act together on offense. Then I think we're going to be fine. On the flip side, I am a little bit concerned about Julius Randle. I mean, 5 bad games in a row, and the New Orleans game was. The two second game of a back-to-back were both atrocious, and just plays where it looked like he was in Randall world. He wasn't with the rest of the team. He was just, off into outer space while the game was going on, and there was nobody to rein him back in and bring him back. And so, the stats are this. There's, for a player who takes a minimum of 15 shots per game over a 5-game span in the history of the NBA, he is the only player to shoot under 30% from the field, under 30% from 3, and 65% from the line. That's not good. I mean, there's no way to sugarcoat it. That's, and I don't know if there's something going on, or if there's, he's never going to complain about something physically. So if there is something wrong that way, we won't know until it gets bad. Because say what you want about Randall, but the dude's tough. I mean, he's a tough guy, and he wants to play all 82, or he wants to at least be dressed for all 82. He didn't look like he wanted to play last night. So from that standpoint, I think he's definitely open to criticism. Jalen Brunson has been inefficient also. I like that he got to the free throw line more in the second Cleveland game. But Mitchell didn't have that much better numbers than Brunson did in that win. I don't know if you look at the numbers side by side, their games are their stats are extremely similar. Happened that Mitchell was better from 3-point range. I think Brunson was 0 for 2, but by and large, nobody was like hypercritical that Donovan Mitchell's been figured out or anything. Nobody's saying that. So I don't think that you would say the same thing about Brunson, because frankly, I think they're a similar class of player. I may get roasted for that, but I really do. I think when you look at what they've done in the playoffs against each other, Brunson's been every bit as good. And so, and that's what matters, right? And we know regular season Brunson's was really good last year too, I really, and maybe I'm overrating JB, and that's possible. I'm okay with that, but I don't think the difference is dramatic at any rate. Let's just put it that way. So our young guys need to step up. We haven't really, as to Jerrell's point, the RJ injury is a little bit worrisome, especially since he was kind of one of our, options as a backup 4. And, if Julius is going to play poorly and you don't really have anybody to put in for him, unless you're just going to play small, because I don't like the Sims Hartenstein at the 4 construct. Personally, I don't
Right.
think that's going to be effective. I could be proven wrong, but I don't like that construct. So
Right.
if
Right.
he's going to miss significant time, though, that means that puts more pressure on Randle to kind of figure it out and become the player that we know he can be. And right now, even if he gets back to his worst season as a Knick, it's progressing from what he's done as far as shooting percentage is concerned. I
Right.
don't think it's a reasonable expectation to say the guy's going to be under 30, under 70 for an 82 game season. I mean, if that's the
Right.
case,
Right.
I
Right.
think there's something physically wrong. That's not just
Right.
mental. If that's what's actually happening. So
Right. I mean, yeah. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead. No, that's all I was going to say.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think the criticisms of the Knicks and the individual players on the Knicks have been fair, but I think it's certain things are facts, but then it's okay. What's your take from it? So Randle is struggling. He's shooting 27% from the field. That's a fact. But then how do you make sense of it? Oh, he needs to be traded. I mean, the fact is the facts. 27% from the field. That's a fact. But then how are you reading into the fact? And some
Right.
people are reading into he's not a good player. He never was a good player. The Knicks need to trade him. We're going nowhere with so for me, I'm here to acknowledge the facts. Randle has not played well. Randle has not shot well. I thought last night was the first game he didn't really play well, because those other games, I didn't think he took enough shots,
He didn't
and
play well in New Orleans, though. He had like 9 turnovers
okay,
in that New
fine.
Orleans game. So
Okay,
I think,
fine. But
we're going to be fair. We should say he's played 3 okay games and 2 bad ones.
Okay. But the point is, the last one is in everybody's mind, and everybody is forgetting about the 17-12-7, forgetting that after 3 games, he was averaging, double digit rebounds, double digit points, almost 7 assists. And we're just focused on the last 2 games,
Right.
like that primacy, the primacy effect. So recency, excuse me. So the fact of the matter is, he hasn't shot well in this season. Last night, he looked like a hot mess, in my opinion. A hot one. Just getting, I thought he got the ball in really good spots and was trying to make more happen than he needed to make happen. Just shoot the shot right there. So, it is what it is. But for me, that's the fact. But I'm not going to discount the last 4 seasons he's had. I'm not going to sit here and say that this is who Randle is going to be for the rest of the season. And I'm damn sure not ready to give up on the season. Because if you're trading Randle for spare parts, where are the Knicks going?
Yeah, it's over.
You know what I mean? We can say what we want, but whatever your projections were, 47, a lot of the fans was 50, 52. All of that was predicated on Randle playing well. There's no way you came up with 50, 47, 52 with Randle playing like this. Okay? So he's a hot mess right now, particularly last game. There's no doubt in my mind he's going to turn it on. No doubt in my mind. Are you buying into and I'm going to drop the link in a while for those who want to jump on. Are you buying into the sentiment or the fans that's saying, listen, every other year he plays bad, and this is one of the years? This is he's due for a down year. Are you buying into that, or do you feel like Randle's kind of crossed over, which is a term I use? We pretty much know what we're going to get from him, obviously not in the first 5 games, but over the course of a season. Just your thoughts on that.
No, I don't believe that. The whole other, every other season. Like I would need a reason why people think that is, not just because it's like some superstition stuff. Like, I don't think Randle has that in his head either. I think he just had a bad stretch of games. I don't know what it is. Obviously, he looks uncomfortable. Even in the spots, like you said, Steph, the spots that he usually gets the ball, he don't even look comfortable in those spots. There's usually like 3 or 4 spots on the floor that you can tell when Randle's going to shoot. Like he in his office. It don't look like he's comfortable in his office no more. Look like he got a new desk and a new chair and everything. Everybody so like until he feels comfortable, I mean, even he said like in the press conference after last game, he was talking about like we're not in a rhythm. He was mainly talking about himself. He does not look like he's in a rhythm at all, even though, our whole team is pretty much shooting badly. But, if we're just going to talk about him, he does not look comfortable. But I do not think it's just because it's an off year for Randle, and then next year we get all-star Randle back. That doesn't really make any sense to me. Like I could tell, like people who say that usually just don't like Randle, and maybe that's one of the reasons they don't like him, because they think he's inconsistent when it comes to years. But I think as a whole, like I wasn't a big fan of Randle until he got here and changed his game anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like when he was with the Lakers, and even his just game all around just has evolved a lot since he's been here. So yeah, I don't think it's like a every other year thing. I think Randle is just having a bad stretch of games that he'll get more comfortable as the season goes along.
Okay, Jeff, any thoughts on good year, bad year?
I don't know. I think every season has its own context, I mean, his first year here was the whole team was kind of a hot mess, not just him, and wasn't that the season that Marcus Morris was here and we had like 8,000 power forwards, and he was trying to, isn't that season? So everybody was trying to kind of figure out their way, and nobody, it was a bad team, and teams, when you're a bad team, a lot of times people just, somebody's got to put up stats on a bad team, right?
Right.
And then, when Thibodeau got here, it was, everybody was kind of ready to move on from Randle, including the Knicks. I think the Obi Toppin draft choice kind of indicates that they were ready to move on from him too. And then Thibodeau said, wait a minute, I can work with this guy. And then he had that fabulous season, and then he came back the next year, and lack of point guard play really hurt him, and you had we won 37 games, and so we had thumbs down and slapped laptops and bad mentality and technical fouls, and here we go, this, that, and the third, which people only care about that stuff if we're losing, by the way. If that stuff's happening and we're winning, nobody cares. You know what I mean? Right. If, in other words, if he's doing that stuff and we're 55-27, that's just Randle being Randle. That's right. I mean, there'll be 1 or 2 outliers. Will be like, no, but for what it comes down to is, every losing team or every losing team has a scapegoat, and it's usually the best player. And so everything that they do wrong gets heightened in that atmosphere, and conversely, everything they do right gets heightened when the environment is good. You tend to whitewash some of those other things. So, and then last year he had a fantastic season. I think it was because Jalen Brunson kind of was the guy in the fourth quarter, and he didn't have to have that burden on him. And I think that helped him a lot. But what I remember from last season is he really got going early. Like one of the things that was kind of a regular thing was a big Randle first quarter. Like he'd have 10 or 12 points and he'd be cooking a little bit. And that would kind of continue till the fourth quarter. And then it was at that point, it was like, okay, now it's Brunson time. Right. And which we were all okay with, because Brunson is super efficient and was making all the plays down the stretch and all those things that we loved about Brunson's year. So if each year has its own context, it's tough to really have a context after 5 games when that's
Right. Right.
that's such a small percentage of the season. So
Right.
if we're gonna put context on it, we have to give it more time.
No doubt about it. Yeah, I want to get to this comment by Patty Cakes. I remember a month ago you claiming that Brunson was a top 5 point guard and you putting him above SGA and Halliburton. Do you care to elaborate on that? Absolutely, I care to elaborate. It's been 5 games. What has SGA and Halliburton done in this league? Have they been to the playoffs? And if they have been to the playoffs, have they put their team on their back and got them to the second round? Did they average 30-something points against a Miami team with inconsistent help that was gunning for him game in and game out? Okay? So it's hard for me, Patty Cakes, and anybody else to take you seriously when you're going to come in and call out Brunson after what he did in Dallas in the playoffs, after what he did for us in the playoffs, and after 5 games, you want to discard all of that and talk about SGA and Halliburton? I can't take you seriously. So that's my elaboration. Yeah, Brunson is one of the best point guards in this league. We saw it for himself. Because for me, I don't give a damn what you do in the regular season. I don't care about your stats. I don't care about whether you made all NBA, an all-star. None of that matters. When the light shines the brightest, what are you doing? And maybe SGA and Halliburton, once they get into the playoffs, they'll show me that. But right now, I got a good sample size between Dallas and New York of who Brunson is. Okay? It's 5 games. Back off of Brunson for 5 games. Come on. Everybody has an agenda. So, yeah, I'm elaborating. I'm still rocking with Brunson. He's going to have 3 terrible seasons in a row for me to begin to change my mind on Brunson. You guys are like regular season fans or all-star fans or all NBA fans. I'm a playoff fan. What are you doing in the playoffs? That's who I am. So I hope I was able to elaborate for you, Patty Cakes, and for anybody else. I'm here for it. I got my Lay's. I got my Diet Pepsi. I'm here for all the smoke today. We're gonna talk about a lot of these issues. I dropped the link in the chat. It's pinned to the top. Anybody who wants to hop on and talk about what we're talking about right now, what you're seeing from the Knicks, hop on. And if you feel camera shy, just hop on and keep your camera off and just come on audio. But back to
Stafford style.
Stafford style. Right. Come on, Stafford style. Just your audio. And don't let it be crackling either, okay? gotta be clear audio. Let's stick on Randle for a little bit. I hear some people in the chat, not necessarily this chat and others, that we need to trade Randle. And I guess my question is, even if you don't believe he's a number 1 on a championship team, and I don't believe that he is. You know, I hold out hope that he's going to play better in the playoffs the more experience he gets. But if you ask me to put money on it, I'm not putting money on Randle being the number 1 guy in the championship contending team. But you can answer that. You can comment on that as well. But also, does that mean he can't be a significant part of a championship team? And does that mean he needs to be traded? Your thoughts on that, and let's just keep it succinct, Jerrell, Jerrell and Jeff, because we got a lot to cover.
Yeah. I'll keep it quick, and plus we got our first guest down there.
We do?
Yeah, from the chat. My guy Spree is on there.
Can I see it? Oh,
Did you
okay.
finish
There we
it?
go.
Okay.
I can see it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So real quick, yeah, no, I probably do not think Julius Randle is the number one option on a championship team, but that definitely does not mean that he can't be on this team and contribute to that if we get somebody better. That's all. Like I don't get the whole Randle hate thing. I think people just don't like certain players, and they don't usually get off that narrative unless like that player shows them something completely different than they have before. I think first impressions is a big thing when it comes to fans. Jeff already talked about what was that, the spinning and not winning year. Julius Randle first year where he was just spinning into the lane like that when Clyde was talking about. So a lot of people still have that Randle in their heads, like he still play like that. So no, I don't think he's the number one option on the team, but that doesn't mean that he still isn't an all-star and an NBA caliber player that can't help a team get to the championship. He just might not be the number one option. I don't see that though.
Right. Yeah, no doubt. Jeff, and then we'll let Spree in.
Yeah, I don't want to. I think the trading Randle is a difficult premise to begin with, because I think it's his perceived value around the league is such that I don't know that you're going to find a deal where you're going to get commensurate value back in that trade where you'd feel like, or where I would feel like it would be worthwhile. In other words, I kind of feel like Randle is worth more to the Knicks with what he's able to do than what we would be able to get for him in a trade. I think, he's one of the best power forwards in the NBA when he's on. I mean, probably top two. He gets treated like a top 40 to top 60 player though. And so, and there are valid reasons for that. I'm not saying that there aren't. And so, but that makes it difficult, because if you're not going to be getting commensurate value back, what trade do you want to make? In other words, he's the only power forward we have on the roster right now. If you're sending him out, you've got to be getting somebody back who's going to be able to eat minutes the way that he does at the 4 spot, right? Because we don't have another one, And so I'm reticent to trade him, and especially when his value is low. When a guy's having a stretch of bad games, that's the worst time to trade it, not the best time.
But besides when to trade him, and besides who you're going to trade him with, do you feel, if things lined up, do you feel we should trade him?
Well, I mean, he's already here. Let's build around him and Brunson. I don't see any reason to. I don't see anything to suggest that we can't continue to build around Brunson and Randle. They've been together for 1 season, and 5 games. Not our best 5 games, mind you, but we were 10-13 last year, and everybody was up in arms and ready to, ship everybody off to whatever direction they wanted them to go. And then we figured it out, and we were on a 55-win pace the rest of the year. So, patience is in order. I think that you can build around him, but like anything else, you got to be smart about it. Like we could have built a championship team around Melo. Instead, we brought in Andrea Bargnani and, did all the other stupid things that we did. It's all about what moves you make, and the moves are out there to be made. Just look at what the Denver Nuggets did.
Right.
I think it depends on who you're talking to. I mean, who you talking about too, Steph. When you talk about, like, if you're going to trade him, I need to know who I'm getting.
Right.
I don't want to say like, no, I would never trade Randle, because that's not true.
Right.
It just depends on who's coming back to me.
Right. That's a good point.
But it's not that many players in the league that we can get in return for him, though. That's the bad part. Like, a lot of people act like Randle is trash. Some people actually said that he should be cut after last game, not traded, cut, like cut ties with. Like, that's an asinine thing to say, but some fans really just don't like him. So I think it just depends on what the package is and what are the plans moving forward. But it's just like Jeff said, it depends on what you do after the fact. Like, we could have built around Melo properly if we had a good, front office in place.
Yeah. No doubt about it. Everybody is tradable
Yeah.
for the right person, for the right player. I'm just saying, like, looking to trade him. You know what I mean? No, I'm not looking to trade him, but obviously, if it's an upgrade, everybody is on the block
Right.
for an upgrade. Even Brunson, he's on the block as well. But
Mhm.
anyway, let me bring in Spree. Spree, you got about a few minutes.
Salute, Spree.
What you want to
Welcome
talk
the
about
show.
today? Appreciate you joining us.
Yeah, welcome, bro.
Good to see you, Steph.
Same
Always
here.
a pleasure. Jerrell, Jeff, nice to chat with you.
Yeah, salute, bro.
I was a little depressed, so I needed to come on and just put it all out. Yeah, Randle. My frustration with Randle is just he's so hesitant right now. He just doesn't look. I mean, some of it, I'm not going to make the surgery as an excuse, but it is like he is coming off surgery. So I do want to give him some time, but he doesn't look athletic. He doesn't look. I'm not saying Randle's ever been the most athletic guy, but when Randle's right, he's willing to go grab those boards. He's willing to do the extra. Sometimes he won't bring it, but I'm just very frustrated with the lack of just. He doesn't feel like himself out there, like at all. Like when you're watching it, he just like. I honestly think he's treating it as like scrimmages. Like it's not like I know it's the regular season stuff, the intensity of the playoff, like everything's different. Preseason, regular season, the playoff.
Right.
I think Randle is like the way he's playing and moving out there. It's like he's in preseason scrimmage basketball.
Brunson too. Mm-hmm.
So
no, go ahead.
I'm frustrated.
He played better in the preseason, to be honest. That's the crazy part.
I mean, like my whole thing is you got to shoot the ball. You can't be hesitant like that. I can deal with look. Everybody's going to have an off night shooting the ball. Hopefully, Randle can not have a 3 for 15. That would be nice not to do that. But he was hesitant, like in for most of the second half of that game. If you're going to be hesitant like that, you can't. I wouldn't have played him in the fourth quarter because he literally passed up like wide open threes. Like, and also like when he moved it. There are times when Randle doesn't even know what he's doing and setting a screen, like where he just like completely shoves a guy, and he got lucky a couple times that they didn't call a charge on him when he moved on the screen. But I liked how he played in the Hawks game where he was moving the ball, or it's not that he was letting the offense flow and just fitting in more. Like you're going to get your shots. Your Randle will put you on the ISO block. You'll get a couple ISOs here and there, but just feel the game out. That's like every great player does that. But then I think there are times where Randle takes it to an extreme where he doesn't like understand. You got to run too. You got to move without the ball too. You got to cut too. You got to do all the things that like any player on the floor does other than just ISO basketball. So I'm frustrated, man.
Do you think he turns it around, or are you concerned that this is going to be Randle for the rest of the season?
No, I think he'll turn it around. I think
I do too.
I think some of it too is Brunson right now, and also I feel the same about Brunson. Like he's having to work so hard right now because all these defenses, what they're doing. I knew this was going to happen. They're going to blitz his pick and rolls. They're not going to let him just play one-on-one like they did last year because he showed he could do it. And so Brunson has to adjust. So Randle's off the ball watching that. And it's on Brunson too. Brunson's got to move it quicker. Brunson's now you can't pound the rock as much anymore. When they're playing you like that, you can't have the free. Obviously, Brunson last night, he still got to his spots. He still got the shots off that he wanted. But it's on Brunson now too to get off that ball. Like, and to be fair to him, like Grimes, I was disappointed in too last night. That was a perfect opportunity, Grimes, where no RJ, you got to give me some juice off the ball when you do catch the ball. So like it's a team thing, but I think Randle will get it back. It's just he can't be hesitant, Steph. He can't be hesitant like when he's playing out there. You gotta we need 3-point shooting. From everybody.
Right. I mean, last night he said there was a quote, and he basically said that, they're packing it in. There's not a lot of space out there, kind of reminiscent of Miami. Not a lot of space in the key. And I'm wondering if teams, looked at how Miami played the Knicks and basically they're going to decide that they're going to do the same thing. Um, and if that is the case, Randall has to figure it out. Because if they're crowding the key and you get the ball in the key, there's no room for dribbling. There's just no room for that. So he's gonna have to figure it out. I don't think that's his game though. You know how you just cut in the key, get the ball, turn around and shoot?
Mhm.
He's an off the dribble guy. So I'm not sure if he'll be able to make that adjustment in terms of scoring in the key without putting the ball on the floor.
One of the things I think Randall did very good last year, he got to the free throw line a lot. Like a lot. Like there were a lot of games last year where he had 10 to 12, 13. Like he was getting these teams in foul trouble. Some of it too is like, and this is where I'm so impressed with RJ, which is why I'm so frustrated he got hurt. RJ's been the best transition player in like the first. I read this. I'm not surprised, but I don't know how you track it. But apparently, RJ's been the best transition player in the NBA in the first couple games here. He's just, you got to get easy baskets in the game, but
Right.
it is what it is right now.
Yeah. It is what it is. We're about to transition into Brunson. I don't know if you want to stay for that or or what, but we're about to transition into Jalen JB.
I'm going to give somebody else a chance
Okay.
if somebody else wants to hop on. I just wanted to
Okay.
say hi and just spill it out. Just hang in there.
Appreciate
it's
you.
early, Steph. I'm with you though. I see people in the chat. I'm a playoff person. Like this is what this is for. Like it's a long, long season.
Word.
Like we're gonna have problems. Teams are gonna but at the end of the day, Steph, you and I, and everybody knows this. We're gonna be okay. It's a long year. Let's think big picture. Yeah, I know we always are a focus, but like this is not terrible. Like this is how you learn about your team. Like what
Right.
do we do against this stuff? So hang in there, Steph. I hope I see you. I hope Sim does a party again in DC for the January.
He is. He is.
So we'll see each other. Okay.
Yeah, definitely. Looking forward to it.
All right, everybody, stay safe and hang in.
All right, bro. Have a good night, Spree.
Always a
Thank
pleasure.
you.
Yeah, appreciate Spree dropping on. Anybody else who wants to hop on the panel and give your opinion about whatever we've talked about up to this point or just your overall thoughts on the season, the link is pinned to the top of the chat. So let's move on to Brunson. A lot of what I've heard in the preseason and through the first 5 games is that, teams have figured Brunson out. They're putting taller guys, more physical guys, longer guys. They're doing different things to disrupt his game. He's shooting 38% from the field, and he's a pretty efficient guy over the course of his career. Right now, he's shooting about 38% from the field. And so I guess I'm going to ask you the question that I've been hearing in the chat. Has Brunson been found out? Now, I'm going to answer it real quick. I feel like I don't really see, and I haven't watched the games over. I have not done that. But I don't really see them playing him any different because I felt like last season they put taller guys on him. They put longer guys on him. They put more physical guys on him. They're doing the same thing, like Okoro played him last year. Last game, Okoro played him last season. For Brunson, I see him getting to his spots, just not falling. And there was one game, it may have been a New Orleans game, where I thought there was some unforced turnovers, just looking out of sort. But to me, I feel like he's getting to his spots. His shots are not falling. And I think teams kind of knew about Brunson through the course of the season last year. I'm not sure if they found out anything different about him, but just your thoughts on, and let's, keep it, as succinct as you can. has Brunson been found out? Jeff, we'll start with you, and then we'll get to Jerrell.
Well, if
And
Brunson's
anybody
been-
else who wants to hop on the panel, a lot of Brunson talk. This is your opportunity to hop on the panel, and you could just do audio if you want.
if Brunson's been figured out, then Mitchell's been figured out. Does anybody believe that? I don't think anybody believes that anybody's figured out Donovan Mitchell. Well, Donovan Mitchell's numbers and Jalen Brunson's numbers were almost identical the other night. Almost identical. The difference in the game was margins. I mean, we shot 5 for 30 from 3 and lost by 6. Think about that. Like, we had 7 fewer made 3-pointers and lost by 6 points, and we missed 10 more free throws. So I just think we need to be patient. It's gonna come. It's gonna figure itself out. I think Brunson is gonna be fine. I actually want to see more of the whole Villanova gang on the court at the same time. I think that may be a good thing to see. Brunson, Hart, and DiVincenzo together might be interesting. But Miami did not neutralize him. He torched Miami. Do you even remember Game 5? Knicks are nice. I love you, brother, but that's just not what happened in that series at all.
Game 6 too.
Game 6 also. I mean, he's missing shots, but again, most of the misses are front rim. That leads me to believe it's legs that may be just hangover from FIBA, and it may take him a little while to get his legs back under him. I don't know, but people have put length on him, and sometimes it's bothered him, and sometimes it hasn't. So, I've seen him torch bigger guys. In fact, the guy that I think gives him the most trouble is the one that's in Houston right now, Fred VanVleet. And VanVleet's not a big guard, but he just, what I mean? He just is the one that I think of that just gives Brunson the most fits defensively that I can think of is him. And so I don't know. We're very reactionary. There's the hot takes. We have a Twitter mentality, and that everything. We have all these news cycles and shows and everything, and so we get all these actions and reactions. And let's just step back and chill and let if he's still like this after 20-25 games, then maybe we can say, well, okay, what's going on? But after 5. I'm not willing to go there yet, for sure.
Yeah, and listen, with every player in the NBA, good players, what they're gonna do. So I don't know. How do you figure out? I mean, it's not with these guys. It's not about figuring them out. They've been figured out. You know what KD is gonna do. You know what Randle's gonna do. You know what RJ is gonna do. You know what Brunson is gonna do. These guys have been scouted. You know what Donovan Mitchell is going to do. You know where they take these. You know all of that. There are no surprises in this league. But with the good ones, you know it, but you can't stop them. They can still get to their spots, even though you know where their spots are. And that's what I'm seeing from Brunson. He's still getting to his spots. He's just missing shots. All right. Jerrell?
I was pretty much about to say the same thing you just said. I'm one of those type of people that I don't think any defense can stop a really, really good offensive player like Jalen Brunson or anybody else. Like the first game of the season when I was talking about Jason Tatum, I say he was unguardable. It doesn't matter what Quentin Grimes is going to do against him. The same thing with Jalen Brunson. I don't think there's any type of different defenses that he's going up against. They still trap him. They was trapping him last year. They put length on him last year. He's playing the same players that he played last season with the teams that we played already. So I don't really get that unless people are seeing something that I'm not seeing. I don't see any type of defenses or teams playing him any differently than they did before. I kind of think it probably is the FIBA basketball. He had a very, very, exciting summer, I should say. He got married, like somebody said in the chat. He got married. He went second round of the playoffs. He played international basketball. So he didn't rest his legs, but I don't want to use that as an excuse either. Brunson just got to play better. I think that's all it is.
You got to play better.
Yep.
Point blank, period.
It's the same thing with Randle. Like, even with Randle coming off the surgery with his ankle, we didn't really have that much ankle talk in the preseason because he was playing better. You know what I'm saying? So all of these dudes, they just have to play better. Like, they're good offensive players. There's nothing any defense is doing anything to Randle or Brunson to me. I think they just need to shoot better and get on the grind. When it comes to Brunson specifically, I really do think it was probably like the summer that he had. But I don't know. With that, though, when it comes to fatigue, since the season has already started, I don't know how that translates going forward, though, because it's not like he's going to get rest. Like, there is no time in the season for Jalen Brunson to sit down unless it's some type of scheduled non-start. You know what I'm saying? Like, they really rest him or something like that, because other than that, he's not going to get any rest. So it's on him to buckle down and just play better. I don't really think it has anything to do with any type of different defenses is playing Jalen Brunson.
Yeah. Other than his shooting, have you noticed anything else different about his game?
Nah,
over
really.
these first 5 games. There's been some games where the turnovers has been.
That's a fatigue thing to me too, though. Usually turnovers mean more turnovers mean fatigue to me. Usually the more tired team, and that's in every sport, not just basketball. Like, the more tired team is the one who make the most mistakes, because these turnovers that Brunson have are like self-inflicting turnovers. Like, I saw him dribble the ball off his foot. Like, this man has he has a handle. He knows how to handle the basketball. And sometimes he just have boneheaded plays. And you could tell it's fatigue because a lot of the times it's in the fourth quarter now. That wasn't like Jalen Brunson last year. Right. So, I really think it's fatigue. But, that could be considered as an excuse also. So he just got to buckle down and play better than me.
Yeah, Knicks are nice. JB burns a lot of energy dribbling. I saw Grimes bring the ball up, a few times last night. And like I said this morning, I was like, Hercules. Because I just don't think he needs to bring the ball down the court every single time. So it was good to see, Grimes, bring the ball up a few times last night. Any concerns that his assists are down? I haven't had an opportunity to look at his pass percentage on drives. But any concerns that his assists are down? Julian Blum, he does look a tad slow to me too.
Yeah,
we're not making shots. How are you going to have good assist numbers if you're not?
Right.
Like, in the games that we've made shots, I think his assist numbers have been fine. But we had 2 losses where we shot like 30% from the field. You shooting 30% from the field, isn't anybody going to have a big assist number?
Right. He looks a tad slow, just like Julian said. And plus, I noticed that you could tell is fatigue involved. Like, another excuse again. When he's in the paint, he don't look the same when he in the paint either. Like, when he's driving to the hole, he looks like his legs ain't under him like it used to be. So that's a big part of his game, man. The footwork. He's already not athletic. It's not like he's gonna go in there and jump over everybody. So, yeah, I think a fatigue has a lot to do with it, but that's on him because he's not going to get rest.
Right. How much? Shout out Sherwin, for joining us, always rocking with us. He said defense is the reason for Randle and Brunson's struggle. Do you think how much of it is them? How much of it is is the defense?
Defense, as in, like, who was checking Randle last night? He had 6 points.
Self-check.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to figure out.
They got self-check.
Yeah, like, who was even? I mean, Isaac Okoro, he was playing. But he's been cooked by Brunson too. So Like, Isaac Okoro did have some good like defensive reps against Brunson. If we're talking about that though, but who was checking Julius Randle for him to have 6 points? Yeah, I don't agree with that one.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of maybe last night the team defense, making it hard on Randle because they were, packing it, in the key. I still think he got good looks. That he just, I don't know. I keep saying the same thing. Put the ball on the floor and made it hard for himself.
Yeah, salute to Sherman. He just put a comeback. He said Randle gets doubled. Randle was not getting doubled every time he got the ball. And Brunson got people's best wing defender last year. And he was still cooking them. I don't think Cleveland has anybody that can actually check Jalen Brunson. We already proved that in the playoffs last year. So
Rebuild NYK brings up a really, really good point. Brunson and Randle need better players on the floor. I mean, you can argue that the better players that you have around them, the less they're able to key on you. And so you kind of play, off of each other. Obviously, if you got shooters around you, you're going to have, you'll have more space. What's your thoughts on that for this team, and just what's your thoughts on that concept overall, Jeff?
Yeah, we definitely need better players. I'll say that. I don't mean to disrespect Quentin Grimes, but a two guard who could do a little bit, who could do what he does defensively and be, more of a consistent threat offensively would be nice. A three who could do the same thing with a little bit more size would be nice. A five who could, do some things on offense would be nice. But, I don't think you can be overly critical of the job that our centers have done this year. I think we've gotten good play from the 5 spot this year, no matter who's been manning it. And, these are the same players we had last year, and we're 2-3. The Miami Heat are 1-4. Nobody's asking for Spoelstra's head and saying that Bam and Butler are washed, are they?
I haven't been in their chats, Jeff.
I would
maybe
not.
maybe they maybe they are, but you bring up a good point, and there are teams throughout the league that are struggling. The Knicks aren't the only ones, and there are players throughout the league that are struggling in the early season. Randle and JB aren't the only ones.
Didn't Dame have like 6 points that one Bucks game?
Mm-hmm.
6. Yeah. That's like a minute's worth of work for him in the playoffs. Usually, he's a walk-in bucket. So I mean, there's all kinds of, it's just early. It's a small sample size, and the funny thing about it is if we beat Milwaukee tomorrow, they'll be saying, oh, it's championship, parade coming, and look at us, and and so
we do run hot and cold, Jeff, after a win or loss. That's just the Knicks fan base, and I include myself as part of that.
Every
fan base.
Well, I'm gonna not be like Jeff this time and disrespect Quentin Grimes just a little bit. We definitely need a damn upgrade at the 2. Quentin Grimes, I don't know, he's frustrating to watch because I really liked Quentin Grimes. So that's why I think maybe he's so frustrating to me. He had 5 points last night. He played 20-something minutes,
21 minutes, 7 shots.
See, Dante DiVincenzo played 30 minutes, 16 points, I think. IQ, 18 points, even though I know they're not in the starting lineup, but they play enough to get their shots. Quentin Grimes plays enough to put more shots up than that, and different types of shots too. So he definitely just still seems like a guard that can't get his own shot and can't create for anybody else either. So when you combine those two things, we need an upgrade at the 2 in the starting lineup. Like Quentin Grimes looked like a backup guard to me.
To your point,
Yeah.
Jerrell, Josh Hart had 14 shots yesterday.
See, now
You know what I mean? So
But
if
in
Josh
about 30
Hart can
minutes,
get up
though, right?
14 shots, yeah, but I mean, he was in the starting lineup too. I'm just saying that Hart got 14 and Grimes got 7 is, you know,
right.
I'm just backing up his point that's saying
Right.
opportunities are there for him to put the ball up.
Definitely. We're talking about a game like RJ didn't play.
Yeah,
So
right.
if everybody's talking about Quentin Grimes like we talked him up during the summer, like he got to step his game up too. It's not just, I don't know, you can't just stand out there to 3 and just expect the ball to come to you, and that's the only shot you're going to get for the entire game. You got to make some things happen.
Yeah, and no doubt about it. Listen, you sing it to the choir right now. I've been on this. I was on this. I probably going back to last season.
Right.
Do you think DiVincenzo should start now that he's kind of coming to his own and seems to be playing better and playing off of each other, the rest of the team better? But second isn't that why we have Grimes in the starting lineup? Because he doesn't command the ball, because we have 3 high usage guys and Randle, RJ, and Brunson in the starting lineup, and we need a guy who can just play off of them and doesn't command the ball.
I would like a guy that can do either, not just do one thing. Like for example, like last night, like I said, RJ didn't play. So he had ample opportunity to take the bull by the horns and actually, show some initiative, and he didn't again. Mm-hmm. So because of that, I would like a 2-guard that he can play the back seat, but when the time is called, he can get his shot up and get buckets. Until Quentin Grimes can do that, he's a backup guard. Because I don't know that many starting 2 guards in the league that you could say that about. Like, say if one of the best players is out, they still can't get 10 points. Like, that's saying something to me. I'm not saying that Quentin Grimes is supposed to come out here and be Klay Thompson all of a sudden, but he needs to come off the bench if he's going to play like he's playing. That's all. And to answer your question about Dante DiVincenzo, yeah, he can start, but I actually want IQ to start. Okay. I say either one of them can start and be better than Quentin Grimes for us. Like, we already have the number 2 defense in the league. Quentin Grimes could come off the bench.
Any concerns, particularly, well, maybe even for Dante too, for Dante and Quick, any concerns about them having to play small forwards? Potentially, because that's one of the things Grimes does. They put them on 2s, they put them on 3s, sometimes they even put them on 4s. I'm not sure Quickly and DiVincenzo can do that. However, last night I saw DiVincenzo playing 3s. He didn't have a choice. RJ was out. He had to play some 2. He had to play some 3 defensively. But just your thoughts on that.
Just real quick, I guess it just depends on the 3 in question. You know what I'm saying? And at this point, Quentin Grimes is playing backup type of minutes anyway. Like last night, he played 21 minutes compared to Dante DiVincenzo, and IQ played 30 and 29 or something like that, or 28. Mm-hmm. So yeah, they had to buckle down and do it, but a lot of it has to do with RJ too. Like RJ will have to, get better at defense. Like other people got to step up, man. Like especially with Jalen Brunson and Randle not playing well, RJ has been stepping up, but unfortunately he got a knee injury. He didn't play last game. So that means somebody else got to step up. But when RJ is playing, yes, he will have to be our best wing defender then.
Yeah, even if that means, and then I'll get to you, Jeff, even if that means less usage, because it's kind of a lot to ask somebody. His usage rate is 25, and then ask him to also guard the best player, the best wing player on the other team.
Yeah.
Does that mean and this is the thing, we got a lot of players on this team that are just not ready. Right. We're not talking about RJ. That's just not ready. So you're like, oh, if RJ plays the best, then who's going to pick up the usage? I don't know if we have anybody else. But any concern about RJ's usage and playing the best wing player on the other team?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're definitely right. That is a concern. But say if IQ was in the starting lineup, that usage can go elsewhere, and IQ would not have a problem taking
No.
over some of that usage. So I guess it just
He would
depends on-
not.
right?
He would
It just
not.
depends on who is the starting two. Like if Grimes is the starting two, then no, we can't have RJ having less usage. But if Dante DiVincenzo or IQ is at the two, then yeah, he could take a little backseat on offense. Not saying that RJ will want to, though. Knowing RJ, he's going to want to try to do both. That's the problem. So when his usage probably is not going to go down, but his percentages will probably go down, if that makes sense. Like he's going to be more fatigued because of the defense. But yeah, it definitely is a concern if he has to be our number one wing defender instead of Grimes in the starting lineup. You're right.
Yeah. Jeff, anything on anything we've talked about in terms of Grimes and DiVincenzo? And
I'm not really into changing the starting lineup after 5 games. Like,
I get that.
to me, it's kind of an overreaction, just in my opinion. Like, I don't see anything from that starting 5 that's so egregious that it's like, no, they can never play together again. I will say this: the third quarter last night, I don't know what the lineup was in that the entire third quarter was bad from an offensive standpoint. So I don't know if you can just blame the starters for that. But again, it's hard to be good when Brunson's not making shots and Randle's not making shots. I don't know any world where I don't think Grimes is going to be the player that's going to be able to make up for both of those two struggling. I mean, plus asking him to do on defense, I don't think that's reasonable. I don't think Barrett's a good enough defender to be put in that role full time to guard the other team's best wing. I just don't have faith in that right now. I have a lot more faith in Grimes as a defender. That may be foolish. I don't know. But I think we just need to give it a little bit more time. I think we've had a tough schedule. We haven't played great. It's true, but I don't know that we need to be playing musical chairs with the lineups right yet. Now, if bigger sample size and we see, we have more numbers, we know, okay, this is definitely not working, then you make a change, then you have more data. I just don't think we have that data yet.
I mean, to me, it ain't even about the 5 games. This is something I've been calling for
Right.
for a very long time, because
Right.
I just don't think. I think Grimes is this is his 3rd year. He has 2 years of game experience. By definition, those guys are going to be inconsistent on the offensive end. That's just what it is. And I don't think there's any shame in growing into your consistency off the bench. So this was even before. And I think the other thing with Grimes, my issue is he can't help Brunson bring the ball up.
Right.
He's just not either he's not a ball handler, or he doesn't feel comfortable handling the ball, or Tibbs doesn't feel comfortable with him answering the ball, handling the ball. So sometimes it's not that this player has done something wrong as much as it is what can make us better. And I'm not saying DiVincenzo is there yet, but if you have an off guard who can shoot just as well as Grimes, has been in the league longer than he has, can handle the ball some. And the thing about DiVincenzo, he's not only a good on the ball defender, he's a good off the ball defender as well. The block shot, the steals, the getting back into plays, for blocks. He's a good off the ball defender as well. To me, this is something that I've been saying for over a year now. It has nothing for me, Jeff, to do with the first
Right.
I'll respond to that by saying that last year the 5-man unit with Grimes as a starter was very good. Like the plus on-off numbers with him as a starter, we were very much positive. I think you'll find that. And so, if you're going to take the longer, the more telescopic view of it, then I'm fine with that. But again, I think that says that Grimes wasn't bad. Not to say that there can't be better.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Right.
Can we be better?
Can we be better? Even though I do agree with Steph about changing the starting lineup, not because of the overreaction, but to Jeff's point, if you think that is an overreaction, this time last year, Evan Fournier was still starting.
Well,
I don't think he lost his job until, I think it was before 10 games, but it definitely won 5. It was like around
game 7, and then
7. Okay.
Cam came in for him after the 7th game or something like that.
Right. And that was just because Grimes was hurt at the time, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Grimes was hurt to start the season.
Right. So that's what it is. So I can see Tibbs not, changing the lineup regardless right now. But yeah, we need to upgrade. Like, I agree with both stances at this point.
B-ball for real. Having another ball handler doesn't mean that you're taking shots away from somebody.
Mm-mm.
Having another ball handler, I'm not talking about increased usage. I'm not talking about having a ball handler in there that's going to take more shots. I'm talking about having a ball handler that can bring the ball up the court
Right.
and initiate the offense. I'm not talking about bringing the ball up the court and you got a lot of usage and you taking a lot of shots. You're going to be taking a lot of shots from Brunson and Randle. We know who our bread and butter are. We know who those players are.
And
but
Brunson's
if you're
a great 3-point shooter.
Right.
He can play off the ball.
Right.
That's a very good point. And this is why, obviously I get it with IQ in the second unit and we need them there and blah, blah, blah. I get that. But having 2 guards that can handle the ball, that can play on and off the ball, it makes your offense more dynamic.
Yep.
Now, I think it was in the Atlanta game. Now Brunson can get some catch and shoot, opportunities.
And I think that Tibbs is starting to come around to your way of thinking, though, Queen, because if you'll notice the minutes distribution, Grimes' minutes have gone down. And I think that's a direct reflection of he likes having IQ or DiVincenzo in there as well. You know what I mean? So I think you are actually sitting, maybe not in the starting lineup, but certainly from a closing lineup perspective, I think you're seeing that already. And so, and sometimes you have that guy in the starting lineup who, he starts, but he's not really, he's not a closer. He's not, we've had that before where, he's in the starting lineup, but he's not really a starter,
Right. Because Grimes only playing 21 minutes last night on a game where RJ didn't play. That doesn't make any
second game of a back-to-back.
Right.
Too.
That doesn't make any type of sense to me. Why he only played 21 minutes if Tibbs, Tibbs likes Grimes. So, yeah, that doesn't make any sense, to be honest.
Yeah, B-ball for real. Like, I don't. Why is, when you say ball handlers, what are you talking about? You talking about playmakers, ball handlers? I'm talking about somebody to help Brunson bring the ball up the court. You want Randle helping Brunson bring the ball up the court? I don't. I want Randle down the court already. Let the guards bring the ball up the court. Yes, RJ can bring the ball up the court, but his handle ain't all that tight. I mean, come on, let's be real. So what is wrong with having an off guard that can help bring the ball up the court and initiate the offense? I don't get it.
Like with Cleveland as well, you have Garland and Mitchell, and either one of them can bring the ball up the floor and get you into your sets. And it doesn't matter which. They're interchangeable. That's what you're saying.
That's what I'm saying. So Brunson doesn't have to be out on the island bringing the ball up the court every single time. And if it's not Brunson, then it's Randle. I mean,
that'll preserve both of their legs more too, by the way. They're not having to do that.
If you look at all of the good teams in the NBA, that's what happens. Like they're both of the members of that backcourt does that. Like they have Drew Holiday and Derek White on the court at the same time.
Right.
They have that like that. There's a reason for that.
Right. secondary ball handler. Yeah. Shout out to Ugly Gang TV. I don't know if this is your first. I don't think it's your first time. So welcome back.
Yeah, salute.
Yeah.
Did you pin the?
I pinned it in the chat. Let me put it in again. I pinned it to the top of the chat. Anybody who wants to hop on and give their opinion, you don't have to have your camera on. If you feel camera shy, you could just come on with your come on audio.
When you come up here, though, you can't just be chilling and eating chips like Steph.
That's privilege to the queen now.
We up here every week. Know what I'm saying? We up here every week. So you come here, hear y'all voice for the first time. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and smash that Adjay button.
Yeah, definitely. Adjay could make it.
Smash that button.
Make it today. I think he is playing the best. I think RJ is playing the best right now. Yep. I'm just hoping that he keeps his flow when he comes back. Hopefully he only misses one game. No doubt about it. Anything else? How is just in general, how is DiVincenzo looking to you? Him and Quickly played the entire fourth quarter.
Right. I actually like him and Quickly in the backcourt at the same time. I think Donte DiVincenzo is coming around. Like we've been saying this whole show, it's only been 5 games. Right. By the All-Star break, though, we talk about Grimes losing the starting spot. That actually might come to fruition. You never know. Because the more he plays, the more comfortable he's going to be. And even if he doesn't start, like he played 30 minutes last night. If he doesn't start, he's going to play starter caliber minutes.
I'm wondering, though,
going to make a change. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, I just think the numbers in terms of minutes have been changing depending on how the guards are playing. Because I think the game before he got 15 minutes, and I was like,
the first Cavs games he only had 15. I didn't know.
Or
that.
If it wasn't that,
games he did.
One of those, right? If it wasn't that, it was Atlanta. So he's had 2 games with just 15 minutes.
You're right.
I heard that.
You're right, though. He only had 15 minutes. I'm looking at it now.
And so, and I keep saying this, but usually it takes Tibbs about 20, 25 games, and then he'll see. And if he feels like at that point that DiVincenzo in the starting lineup, and he may well, is the way to go, he's going to make that change at that point. I don't think there's any question about that. That's kind of what we saw that's about the time of the year when we went to the 9-man rotation last year. So he's going to give this a chance to play out, let everybody get their legs under him, let everybody get in NBA shape, because that's different than FIBA shape. That's different than off-season workouts and sprints, get in game shape and see what happens. DiVincenzo's a good player. I don't think anybody ever doubted that. And he's healthy now. That was the only thing keeping him off the court in Milwaukee and Golden State was he's had problems with injuries. He's healthy. He's smart. Didn't he have 6 assists the other night?
You might be right.
He did. I think he did.
In that 15-minute game,
yeah. So wait till he gets familiar and comfortable with the guys he's playing with. He can do a lot of different things. I love his on-the-ball defense. I think he's always a threat to get a steal and take it to the other end. And when Quickly and DiVincenzo and Barrett are in the game at the same time, that pace flows and is rapid, and that's part of the reason why RJ is getting to be the best transition players because of the people around him. And he's really thriving in that setting, and it's because he's got a good unit with him that can do a lot of different things, a lot of versatility.
Yeah, I'm with D Block 1755. Donte impressed me last night. He made passes to areas where the players should have been. He did that in preseason. He was a turnover king, but I think a lot of his turnovers in preseason at least, was because he was trying to get the ball to other players and they just weren't on the same page. You know, what I like about Dante, he just knows how to play. He just knows how to play. Like, there's certain unspoken rules. You know, if your man goes to double team, you go to the front of the basket for a pass. You know, it's just like regular, you know, stuff. And he knows that. He's a crafty. If that don't, yeah, I guess he's kind of crafty too. I like his energy. Even if he doesn't start, you could see him coming along. And you can see how he's definitely going to help this team. That pick and roll with Randle, to D Block's point, he passed it to where Randle was supposed to be, and that whole left side was open. Had Randle caught it, he probably would have took a few dribbles, but he didn't need to. You know, he didn't need to. You know.
You crazy.
But he flared out, and you know, and it was a turnover. He just knows how to play. He just knows how to play the game. So I'm really looking forward to see how he plays over the course of the season. All right. Let's get to some other things I've been hearing in the chat. So we talked about Randle, we talked about Brunson, we talked about Grimes and DiVincenzo. Let's get to Josh Hart. You know, the thoughts among the fan base that he's overpaid and that we should have paid quickly and instead of Hart. I guess if we had to choose one. And then there was others who were saying they're happy we didn't sign quickly because he's not worth the money. So any one of those, Hart, IQ, you know, whichever way you want to go with that.
What's the question again?
Do you agree with the sentiment of some Knicks fans that Josh Hart is overpaid? Let's just start there. Let's start there.
Oh, nah, I don't think he's overpaid. I think, you know, small sample size again, 5 games. But this is kind of not what you expect from Josh Hart, but what for the people who think he's overpaid, I'm trying to think, what do they expect Josh Hart to be other than what he was last year? Like, he played very, very well off the bench last year, to the point that in the offseason, I said him and IQ might be in the running for like 6th man of the year. Like, with the type of stuff that he does, like, he's one of the best rebounding guards in the league. The shot is going to be inconsistent. That's just Josh Hart. That's not going anywhere. So if you expect him to just, you know, come in and shoot the lights out, I don't know what people expect. Just because he got paid more money, that don't mean he's going to be a better player than what he was before. I think Josh Hart would just come in, good defense, good rebounder, play tough, play hard. When it comes to how many points he's going to score or his shooting, that can come and go any game. You never know. It just depends on what he's like that day, I guess. But yeah, I don't think he's overpaid for what he does. But I do think, you know, I can see why people have animosity towards him if you are a Quickly fan, though, because they gave Josh Hart money and they didn't sign Quickly to the extension, and Quickly is like our homegrown guy. So it's kind of seemed like you let an outsider come in and take a homegrown guy's contract away from him, especially since it was $20 million worth of contract. That's a pretty big contract for a bench player. So I can see that, but small sample size. I like Josh Hart. So no, I'm not going to say he's overpaid, at least not yet.
And before we get to Jeff, and I'm asking this for of the chat, is he overpaid because he's not giving us what he gave us last season just yet? Or do you feel like even with what he gave us last season, he's overpaid? So help clarify.
See, I kind of think people think is the latter. Like, they always thought he was overpaid. But just from these 5 games, nah, I don't see why you would think he's overpaid just for these 5 games. But if you're not a big Josh Hart fan, then yeah, you probably wouldn't like that contract. I understand that.
Jeff?
Well, Josh Hart's been underwhelming. I'm not gonna say that he hasn't, but so has most of the rest of the team.
Okay.
Josh Hart's got an adjustment too. You know, he's not a backup power forward by trade. That's his new role. You know, so that's taking some time to figure out also. So yeah, he hasn't been as impactful as he was last year. I agree with JJ. I think that's a good point, but I also think that he's being asked to do different things than he was asked to do last year. And so I think he's capable of those things, but I don't really, my only complaint with Hart, I don't really want to see him taking 14 shots. Like, I don't think that's the role we need Josh Hart in. Like, he was 5 for 14 the other night. I don't think there's any world where we need him with that kind of volume. I don't know if maybe because he started for RJ, he felt like RJ takes 16 shots, I need to take 16 shots.
But they weren't jump shots though. A lot of his shots were going to the basket. I didn't get the sense that he was just standing up there jacking up shots. I think a lot of them were, you know, I thought he played within the flow of the game. I didn't see him forcing it. He was just taking the shots that came to him. I don't think he shoots enough when the ball comes around the perimeter. I think he passes up a lot of shots. But go ahead, Jerrell. You were going to say something.
I was going to say, Pudge think he going to, like, for Josh Hart, he should be getting 15, 20 points a game.
That's not his. They didn't pay him for that.
You definitely going to be disappointed there. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you think that's what you were supposed to be getting from Josh Hart in the first place, then yeah, you're not going to like his contract. That he is not that type of player. But my bad, Jeff. Go ahead.
No, it's all good. The rebounding numbers are there as far as I'm concerned, and the team rebounding is up, and he's good, and he's a big part of that. And the defense is good, and those were my concerns, you know, and that's why I thought that we, you know, on the margins we might be a little bit better because, you know, I think he does those things better than Obi Toppin did. And that's the spot that he's taking up. Those are the minutes, most of the minutes that he's soaking up. You know, he's getting a few more in with what he had last year, but a lot of what he's getting are those backup Randle minutes. And so, you know, from that standpoint, if he's getting 6 or 7 boards, even if he's not, you know, Obi wasn't this amazing scorer most of the time either, and wasn't really that, was it 34% shooter from 3 on his best year. So, you know, when I look at the Josh Hart, that's the lens that I look at him through. And, you know, I think that, you know, Hart's contract is a little bit on the high side. If you want to say that, that's fine. I don't really have any argument with that. But I think part of that was the process too, because the way that whole scenario went down, I'm pretty sure that helped us to get DiVincenzo on board too. So, you know, for cap reasons and everything like that. So, yeah, and if you think that DiVincenzo was brought in to be the quickly replacement, and I know Jerrell has mentioned that a time or two, then, you know, kind of makes sense to have someone filling in that salary slot at the very least.
Yeah. Greg trolling now. McBride gives you more than Josh Hart. I think Josh Hart is underperforming though. You know, his rebounds is coming along. I think there's he might be injured some as well. Oh boy, what's going on with he might be injured some as well. But
could be fever fatigue just like Brunson.
Yeah, he said as much.
Yeah, he said that.
He did, he definitely said as much. I'm trying to make sure my power doesn't go out. I don't know what's going on over here. Yeah, he's definitely said as much. I don't think you pay Josh Hart for shooting.
Right.
I think for him, you like what? 10 points, 8 rebounds, 2 steals, a 3. You know what I mean? It's all the intangibles, you know, for Josh Hart. And, you know, maybe one game he scores for you, maybe the next game is steals and rebounds, maybe another game it's defense. I think he can be. He's not playing like it now. but I think he can be an elite role player, like a high level role player. He's not playing like that right now.
Right.
Is he injured? Is it FIBA? There was some indication. I spoke to someone who said don't say anything, but that they had spoke to Nick Brass, and that they don't think he's 100. They don't think he's 100%. Because that energy is not there. When you saw Josh Hart last year, it was like he
Right.
was shot out of a cannon
Right.
every single game. And, so it could be fatigue. He may not be, 100%. But I agree. He's underperforming right now. No doubt about it. He's underperforming. We gave him 20. I would have been okay with 18, but, I'm not going to argue over $2 million. It ain't my money. You know what I mean? Yeah. I think before it's all said and done, though, he's gonna show up big for us. Staying on Josh Hart, there's been a lot of talk in the chat about us being very small. So I'm gonna let Jeff handle this part. I'm gonna let Jeff address this because he's been on this from preseason actually, and it seems like it's kind of what he said in preseason is kind of bearing itself out over the first 5 games. So Jeff, talk about the concern of Knicks fans that we do look small out there. I mean, we were like 4 out. We had 4 guards and Hartenstein at one point. So it's not like it's not true, but is it hurting us, Jeff? And I'm gonna check my power because I don't want to go out. Okay, I'll be right back.
Okay.
Well, we're first in defensive rebound percentage. We're first in offensive rebound percentage. We're second in the league in defense.
But we're too small.
I don't know how much more you like. What is it really that we're concerned with? I think this small is killing our defense is a narrative that I don't understand. And I don't think the stats, and it's a small sample size, I get it, but for right now, the stats just don't back that up. I just don't see that at all.
I think it's just an optic standpoint. That's all. Kind of like last year with our offense. Like we don't never move the ball. We were like a top 5 offense though.
And the other thing that I'll say is this. I mean, so Obi's what, 6'9"?
Mm-hmm.
Not a good defender though. So that's really the only roster change that we have. So are we that like, and he played 16 minutes a game. So are we really that much smaller? I mean, I really feel like this is an overblown thing. I mean, the guys who were getting their shots off against us last year are still going to be getting our shots off against us this year. But guess what? If Toppin's in the game, they were getting their shot off against him too, because he's a traffic cone out there.
Right. It's not like
so
he's a good rebounder or shot blocker either. So
or defender. So I mean, if you want to make the argument or the case that we needed to bring someone else who does those things in, I'm willing to listen to that. I'm willing to listen to that. But again, whose minutes do you want to take away? We have all of these guards out there that we want to see get playing time, and maybe that's changed now. I don't know, but people want quickly to get 25 minutes. People want DiVincenzo to get minutes. People want Josh Hart to get minutes. People want RJ Barrett to have his minutes. You want Grimes to get his minutes. Well, if you're going to bring in a traditional 4, then somebody's going to, that brings it up to a 10-man rotation. That means Quickly's minutes are going to, I mean, DJ Shuttle's on this all the time with me that his minutes are going down for that very reason in a 9-man rotation. So if you bring that number up to the 10-man rotation, then that exacerbates that problem even further. Unless you're going to be taking someone out of the rotation to bring in that player, which, that's a possibility too. So, I don't have a problem with that either. And if you want to entertain those discussions, I'm fine with it. In an ideal world, I'd like to have a guy who could play either the 3 or the 4, or or perhaps a 5 and a 4. In other words, if the whole Karl Anthony Towns situation happened, I'm not crazy about bringing in Cat, but if you had him, you could have him at either spot, and then Randle would fill in those minutes, and then that, but then obviously if you're getting a player like that, that means that someone is going out of the rotation automatically, possibly to someone. So, but and again, I have I have the same confirmation bias. It's still only 5 games. That doesn't mean after 25 games that we're not sitting here saying, well, the rebounding fell off, the defense is a disaster, and all these other things. All of that is still possible. All that is still on the table. It's a very small sample size, but to me, just from a big picture perspective, I don't really see where that's coming from. I don't understand it.
Yeah. I was off a little bit, Jeff, but I'm pretty sure you talked about where we ranked in rebounding.
Yes.
Right? He did talk
Yes.
about. I know he's very thorough. I know he's.
As soon as you went off, he came out with the stats. All of them.
So it's not hurting us now. I did see someone say that it may hurt us in the playoffs. We shall see. One thing I will say is, was there players out there we could have gotten? Like I want a 3-and-D wing too. I want a 6'8" guy who can defend and shoot the 3. Was it that the front office didn't go get that guy, or that guy just wasn't available?
Everybody wants those guys. You got a 6'8" wing who can shoot and play defense. You want to hold on to him. I don't care what location and mascot you have.
Shout out to Black Avenger. He said playing small means better shooting. Appreciate the super chat, by the way.
So
playing small ball means better shooting, and that's not the case for us. That's the dilemma. I think it has helped our defense, though. We're number 2 in defense, and you can see them scrambling around. They may not, impact the shot, but they're there so that you have to shoot,
right.
So that you have to shoot over them. But Black Avenger, you're right. We're shooting 40% from the field. We're ranked 30 out of 30 teams. It's still early. It's just the 5th game of the season, so it's early, but this is something I've been harping on since we ended the season last year. The need to shoot better. Are you confident that the shooting will get better? Like, are you confident in Quick, Grimes, DiVincenzo, RJ Barrett out? Well, everybody.
Right. I'm about to say, the whole,
because listen, Randle's 27% and Brunson's 38% is part of what's bringing us the entire team down to 40, 40%.
Right.
But who do you feel confident that their shooting will, get better and remain better? And who are you not that confident in, if anybody?
Hey, that's easy for me. Jalen Brunson. I fully expect him to not shoot what you said, 37 or 38%.
38% on the season so far. Yes. Yeah,
that would be by far his worst shooting year of his career by a lot. So, yeah, I'm definitely way more confident that Jalen Brunson will shoot better. Who do I think is not so confident? I don't know. I guess we would, it remains to be seen, because it's not like I want to talk negative about RJ. We do that all the time. But do you expect him to have the type of shooting percentages that he has, the first 4 games of the season? So, I'm not saying that it's definitely going to go down, but I guess I'm a little concerned whether he's going to be shooting like that. But everybody else is pretty much inconsistent anyway, except for, Randle was, more consistent, obviously. So I didn't want to put him in the category of who do I have the most confidence is, because is Brunson. But I fully think Randall's going to shoot better than that too. He has to 27%. Like you might as well put one of us out there to shoot 27. Like that's
Be a lot
low,
deeper
low,
anyway.
right? That's low. Like that's not sustainable at all for him. Like he would have, I don't even know what that is if Randall shot 27% throughout the whole season. Like he wouldn't. Yeah, things had to change.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't see overall. I think we're going to shoot better. I think Grimes. I'm not sure. I'm not looking at the individual stats. I just know Brunson. I just know how we're shooting overall. Brunson and Randall. RJ, I think, is shooting pretty well. I just think everybody is going to be better, and maybe I'm just a homer. You know what I mean? I just think everybody is going to shoot better, but I definitely understand those who feel like, nah, catch me at game 30 when it comes to RJ. Like this ain't
Right.
just this is a few years of inefficiency. Catch me at the halfway mark. So I'm not mad at those who feel, who feel that way. Nick said, "Nice says RJ has been the best Nick so far." I would put Mitchell Robinson up there as well. I would
Yeah,
put
for
Mitchell
what he
Robinson
does. For what he does.
for what he does.
Mitch has definitely stepped up. He's played well. He looks like he's in shape. He looks stronger. He definitely looks stronger.
Mhm.
But
Isn't
because
it
of
funny
that,
that Mitchell Robinson looks like the only Nick who's in shape? That's
right?
like
That is crazy.
RJ, but RJ's old. I mean,
It is one of the only off seasons that Mitch isn't coming off an injury. Also, though,
yes, true.
so that means
Yeah.
a lot for him. So maybe that's what it was. Like we've been, trying not to give him excuses, but that could be an excuse also. Like health has a lot to do with it. But yeah, Mitch definitely looks better.
Yeah. Yeah. No doubt about it. I don't. Do they look? You think Randall looks out of shape?
Randall,
I know
looks
Brunson looks a
interested.
step slow to me.
Yeah, Randall looks like he just looks. I don't know. It could be not interested. He got a lot of that in him these past 5 games. I don't think it has anything to do with his being in shape. I guess maybe because in the preseason, I said Randall wasn't, it wasn't going to be a problem with his ankle and stuff because he actually looked good in the preseason.
He
Mhm.
dunked on some fool, didn't he? I mean,
Yes.
like ruined his
Yeah.
life. Dunked on him. I mean,
In the last game of the preseason, he actually dunked on somebody. So we just giving him an excuse, like he's just not playing well. Why he's not playing well, I don't know, but it's not just because he's out of shape and he had surgery on his ankle. Can't be.
Right.
well, and that doesn't compute with who Julius Randle is anyway. I mean, Julius Randle, to a person like you asked, that people ask quickly if they were worried, if he's worried about Randle. It's like Randle works hard, man.
Yeah.
He's always working. So, I mean, that's his reputation within the locker room. So I don't know. It's just so weird that he's shooting so poorly. I don't understand it. Like, I just hope he comes out against Milwaukee and just has a good game. Like, just from Jump Street, just in the first quarter, get him some easy looks, get to the free throw line, put in some, get like 8 points in the first quarter, feel good about yourself, I just feel like if he has a start like that, it just kind of settle him down, and then muscle memory maybe takes over from there. And he's like, oh yeah, I know how to do this, and just relax and play. Like, I think that has something to do with it too. I think he had a bad first game and a bad second game. Now you start to press, a little bit. And the more you start to press, the worse you tend to play. And it just kind of compounds itself. And I just want to see him play well. I really do.
Yeah, I believe he will. David G, I'm with you. Randall will be fine. Only 5 games. Go back and look at Randall's first 5 to 10 games last season. It wasn't good.
It wasn't this bad though.
It wasn't this bad,
Yeah,
but
it
it wasn't. Yeah, but it wasn't good. And he bounced back. So I'm good. This is the last question I have. If anybody have any questions in the chat, or if guys, if you see something in the chat that you think we should talk about, let me know. Do you believe Tibbs is on the hot seat?
Nah, I think that should be a quick answer. Like, no, no way. Tibbs is not on the hot seat. Not after no 5 games. Like we've had, I think, a slow start damn near every season he's been here. I think so. We go through this every season. Is Tibbs on the hot seat? No. If Tibbs is on the hot seat, then the front office is on the hot seat as well. I think the only way he would be on the hot seat is everybody go. I don't think they're going to get rid of Tibbs at all. Especially not for no 5-game stretch that we're having now. We're 3-2. It's not like we 0-5.
Right.
But I don't think so. No way.
Right.
He's on the hot seat with the fans. He isn't on the hot seat with the front office.
Well, he's been on the hot seat with the fans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's my point. I mean, well, and I think what people have to remember is the front office, and you kind of alluded to this, Jerrell, front office is tied at the hip to this guy. I mean, they hand-picked him. So it's going to have to go really south. And I mean really south, where the owner's like, y'all got to do something. You know what I mean? I think that's the only way that if it goes really south and to the point where it gets back to Dolan being tired of hearing about it and saying, you need to do something or I'm going to do something and get you both out of here. That's the only way I see that happening. This whole front office, like it or not, is built on relationships. And Leon Rose has a relationship with Tom Thibodeau. And when you have a relationship like that with someone, that's why Brunson came here. That's why Hart is here. That's why DiVincenzo is here. That those relationships are very important. And even
Did you say Ryan? Did you say Ryan?
I did not say Ryan. But
that's why
Ryan is here.
Why he's here.
Yeah. Arcidiacono, that 4th-string point guard, he's going to see a lot of minutes this year, but again, family atmosphere. And so it's really going to take something extraordinary, I think, for, now, we could be 3-6 and the fans will be, ready to have the rope and the, ready to hang him from the rafters pretty quick. But just because we feel a certain way about a player or a coach doesn't mean that's how the organization feels about it. And I don't think Leon Rose cares what we think one bit, to be honest with you.
No, he doesn't. Because I would have liked to have seen a few things if he was listening to me.
Right? All he gotta do is let me know.
If he was listening to me, I would have had Fournier in the game. I would have had Fournier starting for Randle. Well, I don't know about starting with JB, but I would have found minutes for Fournier and just put a strong defensive team around him. So he's not looking, he's not listening to me at all. But it's all right. It is totally okay. Anything else? I think I covered everything that I wanted to cover. Anything on the two of your mind?
I'm up here. Look, we pretty much tackled every individual player so far. At least I think. There's not anybody we haven't talked about, I don't think.
I did think it was interesting, though, and this isn't really another topic, but did you notice that, and I mentioned this in the morning show this morning, did you notice that with Barrett out, it was really an 8-man rotation? I mean, Deuce got in there, but just for like 9 minutes, and he pretty much stayed with 8 guys, and Fournier didn't even get in the game. Isn't that interesting? Last year,
Yeah.
that wasn't like last year when RJ was hurt, Fournier would
Correct.
get some minutes with the bench unit. That didn't happen yesterday. I thought that was interesting.
I think Fournier can forget it.
I think it's a wrap.
You know, unless there's a breakout, you know, some sort of medical breakout, and we only got like
COVID got to come back.
5 people got the flu.
Everybody got to get COVID in order for Evan Fournier to get any burn. It's a wrap. I think.
Yeah, it's a wrap for
talking
Fournier.
about Evan Fournier.
Yeah, you're right. It's over. You no doubt about it. You no doubt about it, Jerrell.
So,
And we might have to put that rule in for him. We can't talk about you for more minutes than you're getting in the game.
exactly. That's why we didn't really talk about Deuce tonight. There's no point of talking about Deuce until he actually, you know, regular rotation minutes. We didn't talk about Quickly that much though. We talked about him like on the offset because we talked about DiVincenzo and stuff like that. Like Quickly looked like he gunning, like he trying to get paid. It's coming back a little bit. The Quickly that you hate is coming back a little bit. I know.
I noticed it. I noticed it too. I gave him a little grace last game because I felt like we needed it. I felt like we didn't have anything going. We needed somebody to come off the bench and just start putting them up. Like what's his name? Isaiah Thomas era microwave, Vinny the microwave,
Vinny Johnson.
Vinny Johnson. Like that's what we needed.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. I'm seeing a lot of. He was in the game with Brunson and Randle.
Mm-hmm.
Acting like it was his own playground. Move right. You go over there. And then he pulled up and took a shot. I'm like,
I know, Steph. I like it.
Okay, all right.
He just has
that
to be
Cleveland game. He shot a 37-footer. I was like, oh goodness.
I'm not going to. One of them times he shot. I think it was like a fast break. He was by himself and shot it. I was like, yo, what the hell was that? Because he missed it. But I was like, what? You wilded a little bit. But yeah, I kind of like that. He just has to be more efficient, obviously. But I think you need a player like that on the team. Like everybody can't play like that, obviously, but
no doubt about it. But then you got to keep him in the second unit. Then,
if he's going to play like that,
if you're going to play like that, you got to keep him in. You got to keep him in the second unit.
Yeah, if he plays like that, like if he plays in the if he starts, he would have to be more of a facilitator, of course, obviously.
Isn't that ironic though? Here's a guy who wants to start, and the way that he's playing makes it where he's better off the bench, whereas he played the other way, he might actually get to start.
Right. Yeah, and I think you also notice in that second unit that DiVincenzo brings the ball up.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when him and Quick is in there together, it's DiVincenzo bringing it up. I'm not sure what that means because that first pass to Quickly, it just becomes his show, you know. Not like DiVincenzo was out there directing, you know, the offense. He's just bringing it up the court, you know, give it to Quick, and Quick does his thing. You know, but we needed that, and I think it's good to have that off the bench. I just think his style of play. He has to have his own. He either has to start at point guard. Like his style of play is really hard. Yeah, it's really hard. He either has to be the main guy on the team, or he could just come and take whatever shot he wants, or he has to be in the second unit. I just think. I don't know. What do you think? You think he can play like he plays in any starting unit? Forget ours.
I think he'd be good in Orlando.
Yeah, I think it depends on the starting unit.
Okay.
But I also think he can reel it back if he wants to. Like, I don't think he has to play that way because we've seen him not play that way. Like last year.
We have.
One of the main reasons last year he played so well is because he did not play that way. He was a little bit of both. Like he was still gunning, but you know, he was looking for his teammates a lot more too.
Mm-hmm.
But this season, small sample size, 5 games, Quickly is gunning. Like he's not worried about, he still gets his assists when he has to. Like, he got to get a ball up. But he's trying to score, though. It's almost like it was mandated for him to.
Right.
Like, I don't know if Tibbs said something or I don't know, but he's not playing like he did last season.
Right. Still early though.
Yeah.
What about the whole idea of continuity? Like, this is what we've been talking about in all of the preseason. Let's run this team. I'm not saying us, just the fan base. Let's run it back. We're going to have the continuity. And I took that to mean that we would hit the ground running. Do you think the preseason with Brunson not playing a lot, Hart not playing a lot, Josh Hart in a new role, what's the issue with the continuity? How are you making sense of it?
I'm not sure because, for one, I'm not the continuity person.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a talent acquisition person. Give me the best talent. I will worry about the continuity later. But yeah, like, I don't think we have a continuity issue though. Mm-hmm. I think like our best players just aren't playing their best, and that's why we're losing games. I don't think that has anything to do with them not being familiar with each other. Like JB, this is his second year here. I think he's comfortable in our offense and with our team in general. And I don't know, Brunson. Randle is Randle. I think he's just being in his own head. That's why he's not comfortable. It has nothing to do with continuity. Like, the only person who should have a problem with continuity is Dante DiVincenzo. Everybody else should be straight. Maybe Josh Hart a little, but other than that, nobody's new to this team. So I just think it's a talent thing, and our best players need to play better.
Okay.
I agree with Jerrell. I think it's just our best players are kind of underperforming, or not kind of, are underperforming right now. Mm-hmm. And so, but I don't think it's like, it's that they're not playing together. It's just been a weird start to the season. That's the only thing I can say. It's been a weird schedule. It's been, tough teams. It's been bad shooting. But what's odd is it's been bad 2-point shooting for the most part. Like, in 3 of our 5 games, we've shot better than 40% from 3 on 40 attempts. In 3 of 5 games, we've done that. So it's really inside the arc, and that we've really. So now, when we've been bad, both games that were back-to-backs, we were, Helen Keller from 3. 5 for 30, and
Damn, not blind and deaf. Like, that's funny.
So it's just been a strange season so far, and I don't know. I just hope things kind of settle in. Everybody catches their bearings, and we just kind of start to get some positive momentum.
Yeah. But isn't that part? Well, yeah, I get it. I just feel like we just look like we just put this team together.
You think so?
Yes. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me.
Just on offense, though, you mean? Because we second in defense.
Yeah, so, defense. Yeah.
Like, to me, that's what kind of puts teams together on defense, not offense, to me. Yeah. So I see what you're saying, though, on offense. I don't know. It seems like we just not playing well, man. Like, 27% from Randle is unheard of for a 5-game stretch. That's not like him at all. I don't expect him to play like that.
Right. 38% from Brunson is not like him at all either.
Right. Exactly. Yeah, that's not like him at all. But we'll see.
Yeah.
Maybe the Monstars were in town, and
it looked like Randle just all his powers got taken away. Ajay says
with the haircut.
He's like Samson. Like, they cut his hair For me, I think he should take them damn sketches off. You want to get real? We late in the show. It's after 11 o'clock. You know how we do. He
Right.
He should let go of them sketches. Those sketches for the first. What is his percentage in the sketches?
Right.
I think he's figured it out here.
Right. But we got
Jerrell's
some
it.
right. But we got some confounding variables though. We got the hair and the sketches. So we don't know which one is.
That's why he looking like he a bum right now. Haircut and sketches. So he got a bad haircut and his drip game is whack. So yes, he's not playing well. Like
yeah, he out there looking like Deacon Julius, you know. We
right.
We need a little more fight. Yeah, yeah. Come on, Juju. Come on, Juju.
Low cut and some bobos. Nah, man.
The Fabco Flyers, yeah.
Maybe that's what it is. That could be it too. It's a mental thing. It don't got nothing to do physical with Juju. Take them damn sketches off and grow your hair back, man.
Yeah, get you some Nikes or some Pumas or something. You know, even some Reeboks. You know,
yeah, something. Something. Or I even go Dwayne Wade route. Go what they call in the China shoes, the shoes he got from China. I forgot the name of them. I think it starts with an A. But yeah, do something different other than the sketches, man.
Yeah.
Don't go to like Converse or nothing like that though.
Remember the Patrick Ewing brand shoe?
Yes,
I have some. Yes, I have some.
That's what he needs. You need a pair of Patrick Ewings. That'll fix him.
Yeah, but they so heavy though. He already looked like he already looked like he's moving slow.
I was about to say it's good for stability, Jeff. But once you start going to the hole, oh no.
You got them strapped up on your ankles. I don't know how quick you're gonna be moving with those.
Yes,
the heel is about that thick.
Salute to Mega in the chat. Yeah, them Lee Yangs, them Lee Nangs, or whatever they call you. And get them D Wades, man. The sketches is not cutting it.
Yeah. Or even the Marburys, the $12 shoes that he put out.
I'd rather rock them too.
I had a pair of Marburys.
I had a pair
of Marburys
too. I had a pair of too. They was only like $12.
Right.
I got some just to get some.
Oh boy, he'll be Anta. That was
Anta. That's what it is. It would start with an A.
Yeah. Oh my God.
All right. About some Lee Nangs.
Right.
Oh, snap. Oh,
all right. Funny. All right. Let me go through this before we get out of here. All right. Spread the love. It's the Dope Soul Way. 2 Knicks chicks. They have their own YouTube channel now. If you haven't already, please support them. Just search in your search bar, because of course I forgot to put the link down in the description. 2 Knicks chicks. It just the Knick community is growing. There's enough support to go around. So
go get that chill hustle from the 2 Knicks chicks.
Yeah, I like that word. He said Josh Hart with the chill hustle. Like he looked like he hustling, but he ain't really hustling. I was like, okay, that's new. That's new. And definitely support the channel, like, comment, share, subscribe on your social media page, download the Just Nickin' It audio podcast, become a Patreon. As a matter of fact, I finally created a banner. So thanks to my Patreons. It's a short list right now, but it's gonna grow. It's gonna grow. So I appreciate Sam, J-Tap, D-Ron, Jerrell, of course, Leslie Martin, who signed up, I believe it was yesterday, and I'll get back on my grind with the post-game audio part. But coming back from Legends last night, getting in at 1.
Woman, but you ain't
right. I barely made it to the show this morning. I barely made it to the show.
I'm surprised you did that this morning.
I was too. You were a trooper this morning. It was a great show too, by the way.
Yes, it was.
It's fun. You guys make it fun. I mean, this community, and listen, we disagree a lot. Maybe not a lot, but I disagree with those in the chat. The chat disagree with me, but it's all love, and I'm having so much fun. So much fun. Actually, and Jerrell, Jeff, Stafford, Ajay, what do we say? Ain't no channel without the panel. So I appreciate you guys. Any thoughts on tomorrow's game in Milwaukee? Do you think that's a must win?
No, so early into the season. It might be a must win for Milwaukee. What's their record?
2-2.
2-2.
2-2. Yeah, they must win for them. So I guess tomorrow's pretty much what a playoff type atmosphere. Like both teams need a win to get over 500, or at least we got to get to 500. So yeah, it's going to be a hard fought game. Nobody's gonna, all the starters are going to play. Well, I don't know about RJ. RJ, we don't know what's up with his knee, so he's out again, I'm guessing.
I don't know. Has anyone got an update on Barrett?
I haven't seen one, but I kind of have a feeling he's day to day, and they'll probably make a game time decision.
And B signed with Skechers too.
He's off the list. Then get him out of.
They done got the MVP. Oh, it's so. It's over. He is never going to win that award again.
Right. I don't think it's a must win, but Milwaukee, they're 2-2, but they haven't been playing great basketball. Defensively, they were like a top 5 team. Now they're 29th. It's still early though. Offensively, I think they're ranked 11th.
But so when you don't have a way to defend the point of attack effectively, I mean, think about how good Drew Holiday is at defending the point of attack. Right. And then Dame is one of the greatest offensive players of all time, but that ain't his bag, man. That is not defending the point of attack is not him. He's a lot more Jalen Brunson-y on the defensive side. So, and we know from Knick Nation that that's what a struggle it is when you have a point guard who's not very good at the point of attack, how to organize a defense. And not saying that it can't be done, and they certainly have the other pieces to make it happen. But 4 or 5 games in, I'm not sure that that's reasonable to expect that to click right away.
Right. Right. Yeah, and even Giannis' stats is down because I got him on my fantasy team. So his stats are down a little bit, but they'll get it together. They took a risk with that trade, but it's a risk I would have took too.
Yes,
Jerrell.
I was going to say, so we get the new court tomorrow, right? Since it's
we get the I should have brought a slide of the court. Yeah, we definitely got it. The new court tomorrow. This is the first game of the end season. It counts toward the end season tournament.
I still got questions.
I like that. I like ours better than Milwaukee's because it's in Milwaukee.
Oh, the court, the actual court.
Yeah. It's in Milwaukee, so it'll be Milwaukee's court.
I still don't know what to think of the in-game tournament. Anyway, seem like it's. I don't know, just a marketing thing, and it don't matter.
Right, exactly. And I don't even want to win it.
Nope.
Oh boy. Oh, the Knicks won their first championship.
And
if they gonna troll us,
championship that don't matter, but when the games really count,
and I keep on forgetting that the championship game for the tournament, it's counted as the 83rd game, and it doesn't count. It doesn't count. It's pretty much an exhibition game.
Right.
So one of your players can get hurt. One of your players can, I don't know, whatever.
Right.
Since when, I don't know. It's just weird. I wouldn't want to do it, but obviously they have to. But yeah, to win the championship, you just get to play an extra game.
Yeah.
We're not putting that banner up at MSG.
Oh, we better not.
Imagine? Can you imagine if we won that tournament and they put that banner up? Oh my God.
They would put a banner up though.
Jeff, they can't do it.
No.
It would be a mutiny.
You can't.
If another banner goes up there and it's that season tournament championship. No, no way.
Yeah, but isn't that the Knicks meme 2023, 2024? Knicks won game against the Hawks, or whatever. The Knicks so proud of their most recent accomplishment.
Crazy.
Yeah,
We
for
can't
sure.
do that, man.
For sure. Let's hit that like button. We got 91 in the room, 65 likes. That definitely helps. That's a free way to support the channel. So hit that like button on your way out. Yeah, I think there is some money attached, Rudy Tay.
Yeah, but money for the players though, right?
For the players.
Right.
Yeah.
Money for
And you want to say they don't really need it. Then you look at McBride and Sims. They probably like, hell yeah, we need it.
Yeah. Oh, he said, doesn't each player get $1 million if they win? It's $1 million each player.
It's something like that.
Like it doesn't matter, like how many minutes you play with.
Right? No, it don't matter. Just a cameo. We can run in there for a cameo.
Have it up to 20 million.
Yeah. So
you don't even have to get in the game.
Yeah. So if I'm McBride, I love the tournament. Yeah, let's go all for that. Yeah. If I'm somebody like him or Jericho Sims or somebody like that, yeah.
No doubt.
I'm playing
Ryan
hard.
Archidiakono.
Yep, all of them. All of the little bag boys. You know what I'm saying? They got to eat too. So I get that.
Rebuild NYK said this tournament is dope. What y'all talking about? Winning is winning. A championship. A chip is a chip.
Steph, you see Freezy down there? You see him?
No.
Yeah, Freezy just popped up.
Oh. Freezy.
Big Freeze. What's happening?
Freeze, what's up, bud?
Yo. What's up, brother?
Chilling.
Good.
Man.
How you feeling?
Man, I'm all right, man. I'm about ready to trade Randle. You know what I'm saying?
You're not overreacting after these 5 games.
That's your guy, and you ready
That's
to trade him?
my guy, and I love him. I love Randle, man. I love Randle. I love RJ. I love IQ. But man, come on, bro. He out there looking like the Manchurian Candidate. You know what I'm saying? Jeff, you ever seen anybody have anybody have an out of body experience? Except it's like 3 different people. It's the same person. Randle, did you see how he let the ball hit him in the back of the head and he kept running straight? I was like, Randle must be high. Randle must be on them gummies, man. I heard those gummies in New York. You know what I'm saying? Randle was looking strange, bro.
Yeah.
He's not playing like himself, bro.
Yeah. But listen, he's had like some decent games, not shooting wise. But I don't know what was going on. And I was there live. I'm like, what?
Right.
Hey, why you dribbling the ball? I couldn't understand the extra dribbles. I'm not gonna get over that.
How you going? And when I knew we were going to lose when I saw Josh Hart do a dribble handoff to Randle, right? so a big man is supposed to do the dribble handoff, and when I saw Josh Hart behaving like a big man, I was like, yeah, tonight's not the night. So
yeah, and it wasn't. How you feeling about tomorrow's game? Well, are you encouraged? Are you panicking, or do you feel the Knicks are going to turn it around?
Well, Queen Bee. You know I'm sincere. I can't help but be anything other than that, right? So sometimes I get knee jerk because I live so in the moment that I'm drowned by the moment. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I'm on this thing because some big light skinned dude all summer had been saying 60 wins.
I'm not sure who that was, but
I don't
heard
know
something about that.
I don't know either. You know what I'm saying? But man, I'm panicking not because of Randle, but Jalen Brunson shooting 38% from the floor.
Correct.
On the season through 5 games. Mm-hmm. Right. Quentin Grimes looks like he has regressed.
Right? I don't know about that now.
Yeah. He's averaging
5 points.
He's averaging less than 5. Yeah, he's averaging less than 5 points. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, to me, this is
right. Yeah, no, I get it. I get it.
So and then there are other things too. Like you see sparks somewhere, like you saw the Air Hartenstein night. Remember Air Hartenstein? Remember Air Hartenstein? And then he came back with the mini Jokic game. And then the other night he had 0 points on 2 shots. Right.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, are they trying to figure it out, or is something amiss? And so I think something.
But what about the continuity? What are they figuring? What are they figuring out?
I think they're figuring out that the Nova Boys thing is a distraction. That's what I think.
Really?
That's what I think. I think nothing against Brunson and DiVincenzo and Hart and Archie Diacono, but the more people put into this Nova Boys coming to establish a culture thing, I think can rub people the wrong. It would be like if I was to join your panel every week and say, "Hey, I'm coming here to establish a culture." You're like, "How you gonna come here and establish? We already here. We already dope. The name of the show is dope." You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying? It's not.
I hear what you're saying, but I haven't heard that though.
So you think they got the Randall's head? That's what you're saying?
I think it's RJ too. I think it's Quickly also. But yeah, it's a thing because the guy on Media Day asked Jalen Brunson about the Nova guys coming to establish a culture in New York, and RJ and Randall looked at each other like, you know what I'm saying? And then
but that's a media guy. They are off anyway.
They always, they have so much gumption.
Yeah. But
Jeff, is gumption still a word? Do we still say gumption in 2023?
It's still a word in Texas.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to answer your question, am I okay? So yes, I'm panicking. Because it doesn't feel like the 2022 season when it was Kemba and Fournier coming to establish a backcourt. It feels like it's giving me like these weird 2021 vibes. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And so, and admittedly, I live in a moment. So I panic. Every game means something to me because, so yes, I'm panicking. How do I feel about the game Friday? If we lose Friday to Milwaukee, and then the Clippers having to be maybe a must win, it puts me in that space of, something's going to have to give. Because now when you look at the schedule, now all the lemon drops, all the easy games we thought we were going to win, like the San Antonio beat Phoenix the other night. You know what I'm saying?
And so aren't they playing tonight? I heard somebody said they were blowing out Phoenix tonight.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I mean. So now it's like the slippery slope. I mean, I don't know. I am on the verge of panicking. I got the red button out. I'm looking at the panic button, and I'm thinking about walking over there and pressing it. You know what I'm saying? If it depends on how we look against Milwaukee. If everybody is okay and then they just out talent us, then I'm okay with it. Right. But if Randall is still out there looking like the Manchurian Candidate and Jalen Brunson can't hit layups, I think it's time to panic. But the thing about it is I have my panic button is durable. So even if I press it, I can move out of the way and let y'all press it too. You know what I'm saying? I'll share in the panic if y'all want to. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
I said 20 games. I'm not panicking. I'm not overreacting to anything good or bad until 20 games.
Okay.
But we'll see.
We'll see. Shout out to Paris Duggar. Brunson will be an all-star. Next concern and question. Okay, he getting off. He getting off to a slow start in his campaign, though.
Yeah. Anybody think that the NBA maybe has caught on to Brunson?
Nah, we talked about
Yeah,
that.
we talked about that a little bit earlier. All of us said no.
I mean, listen, they are in the sense that they know what he's going to do. You know what Durant's going to do. You know what Booker's going to do. You know what Randall's going to. In that sense, yes, they know what he's going to do. But I see Brunson is still getting to his spots and still getting his shots. He's just missing.
He's shooting 29% on layups.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
It's look like he don't got no legs, man.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We was talking about the same thing with Randall too. It's not like they figured Randall out. They're just not playing well.
Yeah. Randall's shot's not going. He looks lost.
It's more than a shot not going in that last game.
Yeah, he
don't look
terrible.
Yeah. And he we talked about it earlier. He said they're crowding me. You know, there's not enough space in the key.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that don't mean he should be shooting 65% from the free throw line.
Right.
There ain't no crowding at the free throw line.
And
right.
And in that last game, there was zero effort on the boards. If the rebound didn't come straight to him, he didn't go get it
at all.
Thank goodness Mitch's defensive rebounds are picking up.
Yes.
Yeah, because otherwise we did not have Randall on the boards.
And that's my guy too. It was sad to see him like that. You know,
he was on the milk carton last game for sure.
Yeah. So oh man.
Yeah. Spurs up 22 on the Suns. Wemby already got 20. Right. So to your point, Freezy, all of these games that you think are going to be gimme games, if they beat the Suns twice, you think they're not going to come in with confidence to play the Knicks?
Yeah. In the Garden, Wemby in the Garden, you already know the NBA has already got referees on notice for that game.
Wemby shoots 25 free throws in that game.
They'll have Donaghy reffing that game. And my fear is the teams like that we thought would be layups, like Charlotte. Charlotte beat Atlanta already. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte beat Atlanta first game of the season, and Atlanta throttled somebody the other night.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, man, that's what
I'm like 11 guys in double figures or something ridiculous like that.
Yeah.
It was like everyone was saying the Knicks need to play like that.
Right. All right. I'm in Queen B. I'm in that I'm in that space where I'm not double parked, but I am in a hurry mentally and emotionally. You know what I'm saying? You know how you, Jeff, in Texas, we ain't have to park like that because so they have parking lots everywhere. They don't charge you nothing. But in the city, man, you know how you kind of park your car kind of cat a corner just to run up there and come right back downstairs.
Right.
Yeah. So
that's
where
you're just like Hackensack, New Jersey, everywhere.
Everywhere. Shout out to Hackensack. That's right.
Word.
So,
no doubt.
Did any of y'all notice Tibbs? The offense Tibbs was running the things to get others involved and get
Which game was this?
The offense. Our chat said so.
Which game? Because that who did we play before?
Cleveland?
Was it
the Pelicans?
Cleveland before.
I don't know what offense was that. Bring the ball down, give it to Randall, and let him over and over again. So maybe you talk about the first three games. I definitely noticed more ball player movement the first three games. Yeah. It works if you work it. You got to have players that work it. DiVincenzo's always looking to go backdoor.
Right. I like him. I like him. He's my favorite Nova boy, by the way.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I like him.
Wow. Yeah. It took him. I didn't really know much about him, and he got off to a slow start. But last night I saw what he could be. But he could be up and down too. We expected that the next game, and he 6 points, 3 turnovers.
Right. Yeah. These guys, I don't know. I'm in a weird space with Queen B. That's why I jumped up. That's why, because I was about to jump over and do the show, and then I was like, Queen B still on. I need some advice. I don't know how to feel about what I'm seeing, because you know how you never want to panic, but at the same time, you see some few things that are cause for concern.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm.
Do you think they're gonna figure it out though, or you're in like Tibbs got to go, Randle got to go? We need some changes. I'm not sure why we stayed pat with this team mode.
I think it's, in my opinion, I think what they're doing is like a bad haircut or bad hairstyle, right? You know how you try something new because you think is different and better, and then you get it and you don't like it. You know what I'm saying? And so you like, maybe this mohawk wasn't the wave. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is can they figure it out, or will it have to be brought to their attention?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, do they mire in this thing not being able to find a solution because they think what they're doing is okay? Right. Or will it have to be brought? Will they have to lose 6 in a row? Oh. Will they have to?
Well, hopefully not that. Don't
or will they have to get right? Or will they have to get embarrassed on national TV for them to take that look in the mirror? That's my
the
concern.
Team or the front office?
No, the product on the floor, because the front office clearly is not going to do anything, right? They ain't not going to do nothing. They ain't going to do nothing, right? They're going to have rumors from now till January, and then they'll trade for somebody in a cost-cutting move to save money, and that'll be our trade, right? But like we'll trade for Robert Covington and release him or something like that to save money or something. but in terms of on the floor, the defense looks like it can be something. The offense looks like it can be something. The thing is how long do you stay with it until you perfect it? Do you wait 20 games, 40 games, 60 games? Because historically, Tibbs teams are going to finish strong. I already know that this team is going to finish 13-7, 14-6, something like that in the last 20 games. But that's what Tibbs does historically. But what do we do until then? Do we wait 20 games to, say, bench Grimes and start DiVincenzo? Or do you wait 20 games before, you say, well, maybe IQ is not the second unit point guard. We'll give that to DiVincenzo and let quickly play off the ball since we value his scoring. So I don't know. That's what I'm saying. I don't know what they'll do. I think it's going to take a long look in the mirror. I think something's going to have to happen.
Do you think? Well, let me just read this. Shout out to Paris Doug. I appreciate you. Knicks haven't slept in the same bed twice all year.
You said all year like it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, like it's not 5 games.
Yeah, salute to Paris though.
Do you think this start puts a little fire under the front office, or do you think it should put fire under the front office, or do you feel like no, it shouldn't? Stick with your plan, whatever it is. Us going, I don't know, 4-8 shouldn't put any pressure on them.
In my opinion, I think they are oblivious to outside pressure because they never put themselves in a position to feel pressure. You know what I'm saying? Like, you never see them in a place where they can be pressured. Like, you never see Leon Rose in an interview. You know what I'm saying? You rarely see him do any interactions. The front office, you rarely ever see him. So they're bunkered in, right? I think what would happen with them, it would take a colossal type issue for them to even feel, any outside pressures. I think they're insulated. Tibbs, I think, is comfortable with where he is. He knows he has a new offense in place that he's going to have to try to work out the kinks and all of that, and that'll be his built-in excuse in case the front office talks to him. But the players, I think the players will feel pressure. I think the players will feel pressure. Like I legit feel like RJ is gonna perform. I think Randle feels pressure. I think Brunson feels pressure.
And they should.
And they should, because ultimately it all comes down to them. So
yeah, no doubt about it. Delano Steele. I actually want Grimes on the team. I just wish we had a more experienced player at the shooting guard. I think Grimes is going to be a good one. I just think he's not ready yet. That's my issue with Grimes. I don't want him.
He's a
I don't want
20-minute
traded.
chocolate cake, and we only had 2 minutes.
right.
Shout out to Paris Doug again. I'm concerned about Randle and Brunson beefing some. I don't know if you've played, and I'm interested in what you guys have to say. If you play team sports, these things happen
all the time.
All the time.
All the time.
I don't see a big deal about that at all. But your thoughts on it?
Shit, knowing Randall, I'm surprised they haven't beefed more. Like it seemed like it's been kumbaya ever since this summer with them. So
right.
Yeah, you're gonna see them argue some more too. Most good teams do
rather
argue.
See a little bit of fire than just you know be losing and smiling. You know,
right?
I'm not saying that that's what they were doing, but I don't mind a little back and forth and a little, you know, look, they're your brothers, man. But who hadn't had a fight with one of their brothers?
Right. I'm weird. I would rather see them get in a full fist fight before I see somebody smiling and losing.
And that's because you're a Giants fan, brother.
I smiling and losing. Oh no, right. I can't do that.
I would say it's not, I don't even think it's just related to teams. I just think when you have a group of people together, you're gonna have people rubbed the wrong way on occasion, whether it's in at work, in your corporation, or family. Anybody that has family, y'all ever get along all the time?
No.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
3 people cannot argue if 2 of them are dead.
Well, that's true too.
Yeah, you really are from Texas, Jeff.
That's true too.
You've been in Texas too long.
Since 1999.
I see.
Yeah. It's not a big thing.
Happy when it's going.
Yeah, it's not a big thing for me. I do think a lot of times Knicks fans come at the NBA game or perceive the NBA game similar than you would think of a high school or college game. Like we come to the NBA with those same sensibilities. The coach is here to, the coach got to instill confidence in the young. Listen,
no, they don't.
It's a whole different ball game
That's
over
over.
here. The coach is here to win because he knows he's going to be measured by wins and losses, and if anything, he wants to keep the confidence up in his best players. That's why you're not going to see a really good player shoot poorly, and in college, you take him on and you sit him down and you ride the hot hand. You don't want to lose your best player in the NBA. That's a surefire way to be on your way out the door.
To be welcome to Waffle House.
Right. That player,
what I'm
saying? That player go 4 for 19.
Right.
The sub come in and go 3 for 3.
Yeah.
That player is going right back in because you understand.
Right.
Yep. So it's just different than college. When Knicks fans say ball movement, and I'm reading into it. To me, ball movement, when Knicks fans say it, is code for I don't want to turn on my TV and see Randle and Brunson going one-on-one. I don't like that. I don't like the way that looks.
Right.
I want it to be free flowing because for some Knicks fans, not everybody, I think the Knicks is just entertainment. If we get a chip, we get a chip. If we don't, we don't. I think for a lot of Knicks fans, it's just about entertainment. And watching Brunson and Randle go one-on-one is not entertainment, even if we win. So I think that's where, you got to share the ball. Everybody has to, get more shots. Now, I get it for basketball reasons. I get that. But that's not what I'm getting from Knicks fans when they say ball movement. I'm not hearing basketball reasons. I'm hearing my favorite guy only got 5 shots, and that's a problem.
Right.
You know what I mean? I need to see my guy get 10 shots.
I had said it earlier when me and Jeff was talking, when you went off screen real quick. Last year, people complained about the offense and the ball movement, and we was a top 5 offense.
Right.
This year, we're too small, but we're second in defense.
Right.
It's all about optics and what people like to see, or how they think stuff should look. It's not about the result. Not all the time. It's about optics.
And we're top 2, and we played 5 games against playoff-worthy teams.
Yep. Good teams.
Yeah. So we're off to a slow start, and Queen Bee, I ain't gonna lie. I'm in this space where, after watching the last game, all the questions that I swept under the rug, I'm looking at them like, is Jalen Brunson really the answer at point guard? Right? I'm thinking, is Grimes, is Quentin Grimes a part of the future, or is he Danny Green? Right.
He could be Danny Green and part of the future.
For Grimes.
Danny Green, right?
Time playoff performer. Great.
But when I say Danny Green, think about the context in which I'm saying it. When I say part of the future, Danny Green was a part of 5, 6 now different teams this future. Nobody remembers. Y'all remember Danny Green in Cleveland when he kept going up and down from the G League?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like, is he here, or is he going to be a Spur, a Raptor, whoever? Is he going to be that type of guy? And if so, why not just go get somebody to fill that spot now and not go through the rigmarole of getting a new shooting guard every 3 years? Because that's what it feels like to me. It's been, for the last handful of years, it's been Reggie Bullock, Alec Burks, Austin Rivers, Evan Fournier, you name it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm hoping that he proves everybody wrong. I hope so.
But Freezy, what's wrong with having a veteran 2 guard and having Grimes back him up and come along? Like, I don't think Grimes needs to be off the team. He can be a shooting guard of the future. I think the issue is that we're starting, so that he's starting, so there's expectations. Like, I don't think any of us have the expectation of, look, just play defense, play the best guy on the other team. If you hit a shot, you hit a shot. If you don't, you don't. We just need you to play the best guy, defense, perimeter guy on the other team. No, we're like, no, we need you to play the best perimeter guy on the other time. We need you to knock down a shot every once in a while. And if you can bring the ball up a little bit, that'll help too. I just think we asking things from him. He's thrust into a position that he might not be. The Knicks are talking about being a perennial playoff team. You can't have a veteran shooting guard and have him backed up by someone like Grimes. Like, I just don't get it.
So there's 3 things to it, and I don't want to seem like I'm pulling a thread out of something or parsing participles, right, putting things under a microscope. That's not really what my heart is telling me. If this dude wasn't ready, why didn't we just do the Donovan Mitchell deal? Right? Why was Quentin Grimes a holdup in that if we gotta wait 2 or 3 more years for him when we could have had 2 or 3 years of Donovan Mitchell right now? You know what I'm saying? And just cross that new shooting guard bridge when we got to it. You know what I'm saying? And the other thing I want to get to is it's no fun for Jalen Brunson, Julius Randle, and RJ Barrett to be 3 offensive players playing against 5 defenders on every possession. You know what I'm saying? And then we get mad when Randle turned the ball over. What was Randle doing? I mean, come on, bro. He getting jumped in the alley out here. because Mitch is not an offensive player and Grimes is not an offensive player. So everybody that touched the ball, we gonna complain. Why Brunson not passing? Pass it to who? Mitch is not gonna sauce anybody. Mitch did sauce somebody up last
that one play.
And I was like, why can't you do that once or twice a night? You know what I'm saying? But yeah, when you play offense and it's 3-on-5, it's just not, and then we get mad when RJ is crashing into 3 defenders at the rim. Randle was right. The spacing is, he's saying, get Grimes out of here. You know what I'm saying? Get a floor space on the floor.
Grimes? Do you think he's speaking?
I think he's speaking to Tibbs about Grimes through the media.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's what I think it is. Is because it's not gonna be Mitch. They're not gonna say, "Hey man, we need a floor space in 5," when Mitch is out here getting you 13, 14, 15, 16 rebounds. Seems like he's the only one playing. It's not Mitch. Mitch is not the problem. You know?
I mean, he can get 50 rebounds. I think it's still a problem on offense, but yeah, I get you. If you have proper floor spacing at those other positions, it could be less of a problem.
Right.
So yeah,
I think Grimes, I mean, he's not even playing good in the role that he played last year.
Right.
Like, he's not playing well. It's not just that he's not an offensive player. Even when he does shoot, it's not going in like it was last year. Like, he's shooting like 30% from 3.
Yeah, Grimes is just.
But isn't the entire team shooting? Like,
yeah.
This is what I've seen from Grimes. I mean, he shot the ball better, but for me, he was always a feast or famine guy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't really see much difference in Grimes, other than it's probably a little more famine than feast. I mean, this early in the season, but
right.
We love it if he just shot the ball, just made his presence felt. That would be great.
And somebody brought up his confidence earlier. I forgot who it was. You brought it up in the chat. Like, his minutes are down already.
Oh boy.
Like, his minutes are down a lot considering what it were last year.
But,
I think
isn't that because of all of the guards we have? No? Or you think it's his play?
No, but it almost, when it comes to confidence, it don't matter. Like, if your minutes are going down, your minutes are going down. Like, he's going from like 30, and I think he's like at 23 or something like that, or 24. Right. So it's not a lot of minutes. Obviously, it's only 6 minutes, but if you're gonna, put that into account with his confidence, that could be it too.
And well, maybe we should just call a 20-second timeout and do group hugs. Maybe that's what we should do. Like, every time Grimes misses a shot, we just call a timeout and bring everybody together, and we just hold hands and hug each other. I mean, you know what they say, man. If you can make it, if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere. So call them 20-minute timeouts, just hold hands.
Coach, I hear you. I just think with the guards we have, it seemed like Tibbs is just going by who's playing for me now.
Right.
IQ closed out the fourth quarter, played every minute, and so did DiVincenzo. You can't tell me that's what he was thinking going into the game.
Yeah.
Right.
I think he's just playing the hot hand at this point anyway.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. Like, RJ was out, Grimes' minutes actually went down.
Right. Yeah. I don't think they have confidence in him. And this it's starting to sound, Queen B, it's starting to sound like the Kevin Knox conversation all over again. It's starting to sound like the Obi Toppin. Man, every time we do something, the coach just pull him. The coach don't. His confident.
That Cam was like that last year too.
Yeah, right. Right.
Yeah. Listen, the mid range. I mean, I've seen Grimes, handle the ball a little more. I've seen him put the ball on the floor a little more, go to the basket.
Right.
Yeah, my stance hasn't changed on Grimes. I think he's going to be a good player. I just don't think he's ready, in my opinion. Saying the Art Man, I appreciate you. Good evening.
Ooh.
I'm all late-ish. But I think I figured out Randle on off-season dilemma. In New Orleans, he had a great year. League figures him out. Bad next year. He adjusted. Boom, good year. Last year, he's good. League adjusted.
This year,
we talked
boom,
about.
bad
Yeah, we
year.
talked about that too. The
Yeah.
offer.
This year, boom. I don't know. I know you.
Right.
I think he's gonna be
I think he can be all right.
fine. And you know what? I was at the game the other night. He only scored 6 points, and I think all of that was in the first half. He didn't get booed at all. Think about him 2 years ago, I believe it was 2 seasons ago. He couldn't even walk in the gym and take a sip of water without the fans booing. And we
Right.
thought, at least I thought, that relationship with the fans would never
Right.
be repaired. And he
Right.
didn't get, if he got a boo, I didn't hear it.
Right.
And plus, with the off and on years, this is not bad Randle. There is no such thing as a 27 percentage Randle. This is, I don't know, kindergarten Randle. I don't even know what you call it. Like, this isn't
This is
Randle.
terrible.
Yeah, this isn't a bad year from Randle. Even when he was a rookie, he was better than this.
Yeah.
Or just when he first got into the league. Like, this is just terrible. Like, he's not playing well.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have a problem with anybody who's talking about Randle and Brunson for the way they've played over the past 5 games. It hasn't been good.
Right.
But I just can't get with those of us who on these 5 games, we shouldn't have never signed Brunson.
Right.
He ain't it.
You ain't like
Randle it.
Yeah.
It's like, what are we? Okay, they played bad in the 5 games, but people are just taking it to like another level.
Yeah.
We shouldn't have never signed. We shouldn't have never signed Randle. We should have traded him when his value was high.
Those the
Part two.
tankers, the tankers, they exist. They just get quiet when we win, but they really want us to tank. They just have a different view on the direction of the team, and I don't understand it, but it is what it is, I guess.
Yeah, I'm with you, JJ, on that. But we got to get to the
we
got to get to the playoffs.
Like, I understand that we keep saying that we're not worried about Randle in the regular season. Are we taking his good years for granted?
Right.
Yeah. Shout out to G Money. I appreciate you. Dropping by.
I think that new offense has got everybody off kilter in the short and the intermediate term. I think long term, the offense on by the time March gets here, it's gonna be out of sight. But what do you do until then?
Yeah. Well, I think what we should do is hit that like button. We got 107 people in,
Hit the like button
in the chat, and we got 7 likes. So if you haven't already, hit the like button. If you got to open it up on the other Google stream, right, and hit it, you could do that as well. Right. Anything else before we get out of here?
Yeah, I got something. Why? Yes. Why do we give State of the New York Knicks podcast a microphone?
Because
State be wildin', bro. State be wildin'.
That's part of his hook, though. Like, he's a content creator. That's what he do, man. When you talk to him in person, State, for the most part, ain't even like that.
Right.
He's not.
Yeah.
He's a completely different person than what he is in person than he is on Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's just from me only meeting him in person one time. Like,
that's my brother. I love him. I love him.
Yeah. I met him a few times, and the thing about it is, what I like about him, whether I agree with his takes or not, and I a lot of times I don't. He just real with it.
Yeah.
And when he was giving Sim his flowers, that's what he talked about. He's looking for a space where he can be himself,
right?
Even if that's different. And that's something that definitely resonates with me, and I could definitely respect it. And in person, I love State. This guy, like the warmth just exudes, or you be like, that's the same guy from Twitter?
Right,
Mhm.
right,
This guy right here?
right.
So,
It's
and
like,
he's
man,
coming out with his own YouTube channel, actually,
good,
in a
good,
few.
Nice,
good, good, good,
nice,
good.
nice.
What he was saying about Tibbs, I was like, State, if I was there, bro.
Everything was Tibbs' fault. We couldn't knock down the
Everything,
shot.
bro.
That was Tibbs.
Tibbs.
We
Yo.
shooting for that's the coach's fault,
No.
though. You shooting 60% from the free throw line.
No, the craziest
When you-
thing,
yeah.
State said that this roster is trash, but we definitely making the playoffs. So when you say stuff like that, you already know what it is, man. That's my guy, man. Salute to State.
Salute to the State of the New York Knicks podcast. That's my guy, man.
Yeah.
Hey, yo.
Yeah. No doubt. But he giving Tibbs that he said, I ain't even worried about Randle or anybody else. Tibbs is getting the smoke all
Right.
season, no matter
All
what. He was serious.
Right.
And he really gonna give it to him all season, win, lose, or draw. It don't matter.
Win, lose, or draw. No
Right.
doubt about it.
Well,
Anything else before we get out of here? The chat was rocking. I appreciate you guys.
Yeah, salute to the chat, man.
Salute.
You know,
thanks for having me,
Almost-
Queen B. I'm gonna get out of here. Thank y'all for having me. yo.
definitely always
All
a
right,
pleasure.
dude.
Thanks for coming
Always a
by,
pleasure.
PG.
Yep,
Good
yep.
to see you,
All right.
man.
Yeah. Any last words?
Nah, man. Salute to the chat. You already know how we do. It's only been 5 games, man. Just chill out. I don't know what else to say other than that.
Yeah. Now we come back next week
Yeah.
and we 3-7.
Yeah, I say 20 games. Hold on.
Everybody's
I say 20 games, but I'm not crazy. You know what I'm
You're
saying?
gonna be on the state train.
Right. I say I don't overreact off 20 games, but I do have feelings. Like
Right.
we can't just be losing every damn game. Like I'm not nuts. Like I don't want to be, 3-17 after the 20 games. No.
Yeah. If I come back to the next game with some Intamin's Danishes and some moonshine, you know, we
in bad
doing
shape,
bad.
man.
We in
The
bad
Rangers
shape.
come out.
You start eating full meals with no napkin or nothing. Like you just
Oxtails and callaloo, you know, we
licking fingers and stuff. No napkin. That's how you know we on a losing streak. We're on a losing streak. It's not all good. It's not all good.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, wait. I just want to make sure I got to all the super chats. Did I get to this one?
I don't think so.
Why a unstable Randle is upset matters a lot to me. I mean, listen. I mean, we're all different, right? We all fan different, so it matters a lot to you. I totally get it.
Yeah. Why? I get what he's saying though. Like, why after all this? Why is Randle? Like, if he was upset, why is he upset? I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Word.
Listen, whatever. I listen. These narratives around Randle, I forgot what show we was on. Somebody said he had mental illness. I'm like, Jesus. I think these narratives around Randle's mental state, I just think they're blown a bit out of proportion. Now, 2 seasons
Just go
ago,
15
it was
for
not.
18, and we won't hear anything about it, Julius.
Right.
Right.
He usually plays Giannis pretty well. He usually plays the Bucks pretty well. When win or lose, Randle usually has a good game against Giannis. Like he gets up for that game. So we'll see.
Right. Yeah. No doubt about it. Do we win in Milwaukee? I think we're looking to get to 500. They're looking to go over 500.
I don't know. Like the coach in me says that good defense beats good offense, but sometimes great offense does beat good defense,
Yes, it does.
and they have the potential for great offense. I mean, basketball is about matchups, and with that front court, and then you add Dame on top of that, I just think that's matchup nightmare all over the court for the Knicks. I mean, Antetokounmpo and Lopez, and I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say yes, just for the mental stability of the chat.
That's a good cause.
I'm gonna say yeah, just because we need to calm down a little bit. So hopefully we will win. You know what I'm saying? Stop talking about mental illness.
Right.
For Rand.
Win or
We
not,
do
I
play
just want
better on the road than we do at home.
Yeah, for like the
So
past.
it is in Milwaukee. That might be that might be. I don't know what it is. Like, I just want to have home court advantage, and it's not the fans. The fans are great every single day. I do not know what it is about this team that, like,
It's
be good at home, guys.
It's the building. I think can be good at home. Other teams are better in the Garden than they are at other places.
Yeah,
like people get up for the Garden. Like teams play.
I just remember when Patrick was here. It was our house, man. You didn't come to the Garden and get a win. You came and you got a whooping.
Well, we had Patrick.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. For the most part, we had the best player on the floor, Jeff. That matters a lot. It wasn't that many players better than Patrick Ewing at the time. So
I know.
For the most part, unless he was playing like the Bulls or
Right,
the
right.
Rockets with Akeem or something, he was pretty much the best player on the floor.
Yeah, no doubt.
At some
about
point
it.
in time.
Right. Listen,
Yeah.
if we don't win, I think we can win against Milwaukee. Milwaukee ain't right. They're struggling might be strong, but they're trying to find their groove. The Knicks are trying to find their groove. I need to see. I'm not into moral victories, but if we happen to lose, how did we play? That's going to be important. The process.
Yeah.
What was the process like? How did we look?
Right.
How did Randle look? How did Brunson look?
Here's my question then. So if we have a game like game 1 against Boston where we pretty much outplayed them, but we get beat, how are you going to feel? Like, because I feel like we gave that Celtics game away.
Yeah. Listen, I that's a good question. I think I want the win, like an ugly win where I think was Atlanta an ugly win?
No.
No.
That was a good one.
Okay. I think I would take an ugly win over a pretty loss. But I just want to have some hope. I'm like, even if we lose, I just want to have some hope that we are
So when you say
turning
hope,
it around.
When you say hope, you mean just to see the ball going?
No. See Randle play well. See Brunson play well. See it get the crunch time. See us, running an offense. See us, playing good defense. See, I watched that game yesterday. I was like, what is this?
Right.
Think about the Blues.
Yeah, I just need Brunson and Randle to get back on track.
Right. I think if that happens, most of the stuff that we talked about tonight, it doesn't happen. Like we don't have any of those conversations. We'll be talking about something completely different.
Grimes. We'll be talking about Grimes.
Yeah, pretty much Grimes or whoever's playing badly in our wins.
BX Me said we need comfortable wins.
Yeah.
I take ugly wins too, though.
I don't care. Just score more points than the other guy. I don't care. I don't believe in moral victories, and I don't believe in ugly wins. Like if you get the win, it counts as a blowout in the standings as far as in the box score. As far as I'm concerned, it don't matter. You win by 1, you win by 20. Although I'll say this. It's a lot easier on my psyche when you're up pillar to post and it doesn't get close.
Yeah.
Those are the nice games when you can just kind of, cruise in the game and you don't have the emotional roller coaster. And
see, we don't have those games often though.
Nope. Because it's the league. There aren't a lot of those games, I don't think.
Like even
everybody makes the run.
Last year, we didn't blow out nobody and nobody blew us out. Like we was in the game, it seemed like all 82 games, except from like a few. Like one of those Brooklyn games, I think we lost bad. There was a couple other games like early in the season, but like after the All-Star game, I don't remember us getting blown out at all. All of the games were in the fourth quarter.
Right. And remember, a lot of those fourth quarter games were close.
Mm-hmm. Could have lost.
But Brunson came through. Like Brunson was a really good, crunch time player last year.
And it felt like even the games that we lost were games where we had the lead, and then weird stuff happened and it kind of slipped away from us. But
like that Dallas loss everybody keeps talking about with Luka scored like 9 points in like 30 seconds or whatever.
Yeah, or the Chicago game where we missed the free throws.
Yep, that Chicago game too.
Or the Clipper game where we thought we had it and Batum hit the three that put us into overtime and we lost.
Didn't all that happen?
The Laker game right after that when we had Julius had that terrible final possession where
and all of those games were close to each other.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They was towards like the beginning of the season. I remember that.
Yeah.
I think I remember that mostly because how mad Ajay was.
Right.
Like those losses. Like
Ajay will remember for sure. Ajay remember a game from 1988. He's like, man, if Jerrell Wilkins had made that shot, we'd have won that game.
He remembers, and he will make you, and he will remind you.
Yeah, no doubt. No doubt. Shout out to Ajay.
Words. Listen tonight, man. Salute to Ajay.
For sure. Well, we'll be back. Well, I'll be back Saturday morning with the morning recap, Knicks morning vibe morning recap. Remember, if the replay, the game recap occurs on a Saturday or a Sunday, it's a panel show. So it'll be me and Staffer Saturday morning, 10:30, because I got clients in the morning. So it'll be 10:30. Whoever else wants to join, even those in the chat, if you ever want to join, just hit me with a DM or email me bksteph33@gmail.com if you ever want to come on the show. I see another. We just about to get out of here and another super chat. Appreciate you, Parrish Duggar.
Why is Grimes expected to be a good starter at $2 million?
What does his salary have to do with it?
Yeah,
I don't think the salary has anything to do with it.
We put him in the starting lineup, so we expect him to be good. Like the coaching staff trusted him enough to start him, then you should reward that trust with good play. I mean, like regardless of whether you're making $2 million or you're making $20 million.
I think maybe this is Parrish's way of saying that we need an upgrade.
Okay.
Because he's only making $2 million. Like he's on his rookie contract. Why would you expect him to be a good starter at that point? We need an upgrade.
That's a good way of listen. I've said with what the inconsistency is to be. We about to get off the show. I don't want nobody looking it up, but I'll look it up. I believe as far as games, he may have. I don't know if he has 164 games, and if he does, he doesn't have that much more than that. And so even though this is his third year, he probably has about 2 years of game experience or a little bit more than that. The hardest thing in this league is to be consistent. Look at RJ Barrett going into his 5th year. Right. That's the hardest thing to be. So I'm not getting on Grimes. I think he's right where he needs to be. I just think he's not where the team needs our starting shooting guard to be. And that's not on him. That's on the front office.
Grimes has played in 122 games, started in 77.
So he hasn't even. That's how many? 100 and what?
He played in 122. He started in 77. So he has he only has 77 starts under his belt.
So basically,
he ain't no real starter anyway.
He's played for less than 2 years then.
Right.
Right? Because 82, that would be 164. He's played 120 something.
And hasn't started for 82 yet.
Right. So
and may not get to 82 if he keeps it at the present pace.
Right. Yeah.
That's the 5 games he's been having. You know what I'm saying?
I think Grimes is doing what he usually does. I mean, Jeff, you're well, do you see anything different in Grimes than the usual? I don't. I mean, he's not shooting. Maybe his numbers aren't as good, but I see the same thing.
You talk about the way he's playing?
Uh-huh.
Like the actual, Yeah, he looks like the same Grimes. I think that's the problem. Like, he doesn't look like he's better at all. Remember, we was talking about like him playing with training with Penny Hardaway. Like, he was supposed to come out with a handle and be a 6'7" point guard for some reason. We saw him shooting with.
I wasn't expecting that, but okay.
No, not you. I'm just talking about in general. No, not you specifically. But yeah, we saw him with JJ Redick. Know what I'm saying? But he's not shooting well. Not saying that this is the end all be all. It's a short sample size, but he looked like the same Grimes, but shooting badly. But I don't see anything different other than like the stuff that you said earlier, like he brings up the ball every now and again.
That was just
not
the
enough
first
though.
time I saw it.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It's not enough. So until he's able to make a shot for himself or create for others, he's just the same Grimes then.
We need him to get back up to that 38% for three, though.
Right. So if you're going to be the same Grimes, you have to shoot well.
Yeah.
Have
He's
to.
not the only one struggling. It's like everybody's struggling at the same time, though.
Yeah, but the other ones do more stuff, though, I guess, maybe.
Okay.
Like when it comes to Brunson and Randle, of course. But everybody not struggling. Like IQ is playing like itself. Dante DiVincenzo is off and on. RJ is playing well. So if Grimes is Mitch is playing well. If Grimes is just going to be Grimes, he has to shoot well. Or what's the point?
Mitch isn't shooting the ball well either, though.
What is going on with Mitch?
I don't
He's about 20% lower than his career average right now. 48% on the season on 25 attempts or something like that.
The only reason we don't talk about it because he's actually better at what we want him to be better at. You know what I'm saying? Like, we didn't expect him to have any type of offensive explosion. It's a little different. But yeah, Mitch isn't the same on offense either.
Yeah,
which is
I'm
weird
gonna have
because
to
it's all
watch.
putback and dunks.
Right.
It should be a higher percentage.
Somebody was talking about tips, that he's tipping the ball, and maybe if he missed some tips, that impacts his shooting percentage.
He's
But
7 foot tall. Just grab the ball and flush it, boy.
Yeah, he bring the ball down too much a lot. He's still into bringing the ball down.
Yeah.
He's been tall his whole life. I don't get the whole bring the ball down stuff. Mitch has been tall his whole entire life. How are you still bringing the ball down? Like, it gets snatched out of his hands or knocked out a lot when he get the rebound and try to put it back up. So
yeah,
I don't know.
All right. But let's get out of here. Otherwise, we're gonna have a whole nother round. We're gonna be here for another 20, 30 minutes.
Yep.
Salute to the chat. See you Saturday morning. Hopefully it's a great win for the Knicks tomorrow. Shout out to all my Patreons. I should be able to do a post-game podcast, which is very different than the morning show where YouTube has some restraints on what you can say and how you say it. So until next time, family.
You tune in, that means you're feeling the vibe. The bell rung, you already been subscribed. Right now, the queen, she on live. Please pull over the whip, no phoning when you drive. Dope Soul sporting with the talk. First lady from New York, Brooklyn. All my people, you rocking with the chat. Hit that. The like button would tell me where you at. Step from the MBK. Born and raised up MBK. Hey, real lady where she holding it down. No matter way how you feel, she gon' greet you with a smile.
Sister, you one of a kind.
Yes.
Oh, sister, it's time you
That's
shine. Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.
Where you at?
Dope Soul.